Okay, everybody ready to roll?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Let's play some Dungeons and Dragons. So, without further ado, we will jump straight into our previously on Curse of Strahd.
We continued our adventure with Madame Eva reading our fortune. Marielle began by pulling the first card, the Wizard, a card that tells a story of knowledge to be gained. Madame Eva told us to look for a wizard tower on a lake. Audric pulled the next card, the Healer, a symbol of great hope to be found west at a pool blessed by the sun. Forgotten pulled the Enchanter card next. A great weapon could be found by speaking to the Master of the Marsh. With a little of encouragement from Marielle, Pip drew the next card, a card that showed us our greatest ally, the Broken One, a man of great power and great magic, but with a broken mind. Gallus refused to pull a card because his faith was strong with Bahamut, so Dax drew the final card, the Dark Lord. Wondering what we had gotten ourselves into, we exited Madame Eva's tent and spent the slightly confrontational evening with the Vistani. After a long rest, we decided to follow the lake, and after about an hour of travel, a carriage with no rider approached us. Audric quickly pointed out that the horses were covered in necrotic magic and that we should keep our distance. Not heeding Audric's advice, Forgotten went into the carriage to inspect it and found a strange crest. Marielle recognized the crest from the murder house and promptly dragged Forgotten out of the carriage. Leaving the strange carriage behind us, we continued westward, but were halted when we heard coughing and muttering from the bushes. Dax went to inspect what was going on and saw an older half-elf gentleman struggling with his cart. Dax scared him by popping out of the bushes and helped him dislodge his cart, then called the rest of the group over. As the group came, he introduced himself as Borgin and told us of the fruits that he sells, the best fruits in all of Barovia. Audric, suspicious of this half-elf man, cast Detect Magic and found him and his stand covered in illusory magic. But before Audric could get us away from Borgin, Gallus sampled one of his fruits and fell unconscious. Borgin started writhing on the ground with laughter, clawing at his face, and then Borgin was no longer. Strahd appeared. Strahd looked at Forgotten and told him he had chosen the wrong side, then battle ensued. As the battle began, Dax yelled at Pip to drink the invisibility potion she gave him and to hide. Marielle hastily casted silence, but Strahd eventually broke free and charmed Gallus into leaving the fray. The battle was looking dire when Strahd approached Dax and backhanded her so hard she flew into a tree and hit the ground with a sickening crack. Not knowing what else to do, Audric cast Dissonant Whispers. Miraculously, the spell hit and Strahd was forced to flee. We left off setting up camp for the evening and licking our wounds, but after a long rest, we woke feeling a little bit stronger than we had the day before.
Okay, thank you very
Bravo.
much. Well done again. Just before we jump further in, due to educational obligations, Meg's going to take a step back from doing the previously on. If anybody else would like to step into that role, you're happy to do so, or I can tell you it's big shoes to fill.
Yeah,
Size
you
9.
don't want me doing it.
You can,
I can do one.
if you'd like, yeah, just make a couple of notes as you go tonight, and you can, if it needs be, I can even fire the video up sooner and send you a private link so you can go back over it. But yeah, I'm happy to do it, but obviously it won't be Strahd every time. So, without further ado, I believe we all leveled up. You wake up to another damp and misty morning in the lands of Barovia. A little sunlight pierces is enough to take the edge off the cold that fills your heart. Everybody leveled up. Did anybody get anything cool? Should we go through what we got, or would we like to keep it for a big surprise?
Expertise. That's about it.
Expertise. Yeah, your passive perception's crazy now. It's like 17, isn't it?
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, that's your.
Nothing gets past Dax. What?
Who said that?
For me, if anyone's within 10 feet of me, you can add +2 to your saving throws. I'll try to remember that, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's more on them to remember as the party just huddle around you.
Yeah.
Don't huddle too much. We don't want to get fireballed again.
Keyword again.
Yeah.
They're just everybody's got like a 10-meter pole that they're a 10-foot pole that they're just like constantly touching you with just to stay on the range of it.
Poor
s-
Forgotten's been fireballed like 4 times already. Because he got fireballed a couple times in the last campaign too.
Yeah, but I'm still here. We've still got half my beard still.
Yep.
Is he singed again? How's his hair doing?
Not worse than last time.
I imagine that
Lost a bit of
Forgotten.
an eyebrow, but it never really grew back properly from last time. That's why it's patchy.
Fortunately, Forgotten, unlike Robert, can grow a full manly beard at a reasonable pace.
Ayo.
Marielle, what did you get on your level 6?
I got, and I want to tell the group this. I picked a spell. I got a spell called Magic Circle. It takes a full minute to cast, but I should be able to either make it either keep things inside the circle or give us protection somehow. I got to work out how to use it, but I think that if we're all inside it within 10 feet of Gallus,
We all get fireballed.
Yeah.
yeah, well, we all get +2 to our saving throws against a fireball or something like that. We get advantage on our rolls to hit.
Oh
I'd have
my.
to.
DM,
It's a
DM note, stop holding back on the fireballs. Excellent. Thank you for that.
No.
yeah, 10-foot radius, 20-foot tall cylinder, magic energy. It's doesn't move like my spirit guardians, and you can see it within range. Glowing
That's cool. So you can drop a tiny hut, stick Gallus in it, drop that spell on it, and then you've got an impenetrable fortress to constantly retreat to.
kind of. It's not exactly impenetrable,
Well,
but
the tiny hut's pretty badass. Pretty
the
mean.
tiny hut, yes.
Yeah, but Tiny Hook takes like an hour to cast, doesn't it?
No. A minute if I use a spell slot, or 11 minutes if I do a ritual.
Can Odric survive 10 minutes, a minute standing still? Okay.
The ritual is just doing a little bit of a dance.
I got a couple of cool new things.
What did you get?
So I got a familiar,
Ooh.
What'd you
which
get?
I haven't decided on what I'm going for yet.
Okay.
I got a spell to allows me to summon animals to aid us.
Nice.
Ooh, so
Um,
good. Just
And I can also now transform into more powerful animals once I find some.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got notes on that. We'll see what we can get you. So, without further ado, you awake the next morning having decided to stay in the area, perhaps through a little bit of
Sheer exhaustion.
sheer exhaustion, perhaps through a little bit of giving up, perhaps there was a little well, what's the point whenever he can find us anywhere? Or perhaps there was a bit of logic in it. He's unlikely to come back to the same place that he left you off, because surely no one would be stupid enough to stay there.
That
However,
must have been it.
you awake after another restless night filled with images that you can't quite recall as the dawn comes. But you know that the mist was definitely in your dreams, even dreaming of happy moments in this place, memories from perhaps your childhood or your life before adventuring, sitting in taverns, drinking with friends, telling tales, singing songs. They're all permeated by this mist that drifts through your visions. And Pip, nonetheless, he wakes up, having to, as he often does now, during the night, shimmied his way over towards Dax and grabbed onto a thigh or a shoulder and cuddled in, and you felt him Dax being restless through the night. And he wakes up looking a bit more haggard than he was, tired-eyed, but chipper, as he always is. How would you like to proceed?
Click my heels together 3 times. There's no place like home. Does it work?
No.
Damn.
Make me a history check, Marielle.
Oh,
dear.
shit. What the hell is that?
Why'd you
Red
do
and
that?
green? What did I get?
So we always take the one on the left. It's auto rolling advantage, so we always take the one on the left unless you have advantage, and then we take the higher, and vice versa for disadvantage.
So you got a crit fail and a
You,
crit success there.
we watch as Marielle stands on her toes and clicks her heels together, and then looks confused for a moment. She doesn't quite know why she's done it. She's heard a story before, but all she remembers was that it included a lost girl and something about a scarecrow.
Shake my head. Life is long.
And memory short.
Memory short, yes.
So, adventuraries.
Did my mustache caper go off successfully last night?
Remind me of your mustache caper.
During my watch, I took out a piece of
Ooh.
charcoal
Make me a sleight
from
of
my
hand
components.
check to see if.
And then, yeah, I drew mustaches on everybody, including myself, and I put the charcoal in Pip's hand.
Okay, I'll only ask
You
for.
framing the little kid.
I'll only ask for one roll, but yeah, make me a sleight of hand check versus passive perceptions.
Oh dear, that's
Everybody-
not good for me.
No, because I've got a really high passive perception.
Question is, who do you do first?
Audric.
Audric, you wake in the morning to look across, and as you come out of your layman's tiny hut and it slowly dissolves and fades away to nothing, you see a very tired looking Pip who has a little mustache drawn on his face, and he looks at you and begins like cackling with laughter, and as he does so he like points with his hand and then realizes he's got like a bit of black charcoal in his hand and he immediately sticks his hands behind his back. Morning, Audric. You've got a little something on your Dax, are we going now? And he like turns and begins like looking for Dax as the rest of the camp packs up for the evening. And as you raise your hand, you see you manage to smear a little bit on your fingers. It appears like someone's drawn a mustachio.
A little scamp.
Yeah.
I will use prestidigitation to clean that off.
Yeah. At some point during the night, most of the rest of you think, who has passive perception less than 14? There's a couple of you actually.
I
Me.
do.
Okay, so you also have a mustache drawn on your on the tip of your dragonborn snout, but you get a couple
It's
every
like
now
it's like
as
a little Gomez stash, like Gomez Adams.
as you're packing up camp, you hear a little and you glance around to see Dax and Pip standing beside each other, stony faced, and you're not quite sure what they're laughing at or who made the noise, but both of them seem to be up to something. You have no idea what. Everyone else, at some point in the night, you remember being bothered by a fly. Perhaps you were having a restless dream and you swatted something away from your face, waking up to glance around and see nothing in the darkness.
Do I see other mustaches?
You see, I believe it's just Audric that has this. He now has like half a mustache and a big black smear.
No, I cleaned it off.
Did you clean it off? Oh, you pressed the digitation it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, you have no idea.
Well, Pip and Dax do.
Yeah.
Because Dax said she did it on herself. And
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Pip did it. Yeah, yeah. So and Dax did it on herself as well. Oh, yeah. So you do see other mustaches. You see these two standing, tittering at you, with these mustaches on their faces.
I'm gonna make a wisdom check to see if I figure this out.
Yeah.
Mm,
No.
No,
You have
no.
no idea. You have no idea what's going on.
Strange.
Gallus gazes thoughtfully off into the distance of the mist, and then like shakes his head.
What's so
Carries on.
funny?
As Dax wipes off the mustache off her face, she's just dying with laughter.
I'm going to look around, see what's going on, and go, maybe a mustache without a beard.
Yeah,
Nah, I think I'll stick with a beard.
yeah, it looks
Can
good.
store more food in a beard.
Pep, your greatest joy, Dax, is that Pep feels like he's really in on something all the while having absolutely no idea that he's got this mustache drawn on his.
Perfect.
What type of mustache did you install upon the boy?
One of those like
Big
dramatic
Poirot
curly
type.
cues, so it like goes all the way like around on his cheeks, like a nice big curly cue. So starting from the nostrils and going all
Nice,
the way around the cheeks.
nice, a proper role model. Excellent.
um,
So, as the camp packs up, it's nice to hear laughter in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Pip's bolstered somewhat, still looking tired, but goes skipping off. What would the party like to do?
I want to pull out the sword and see what it feels like. Take a couple of swings at some long grass and see.
You're not
See.
you're not proficient in swords, so
Nope.
but you're a martially trained man. It's definitely an unusual metal. If metal indeed it is, it's cold to the touch, seemingly colder than even this cold dark place. And as you swing it, it feels like it has a good balance. It slices through the air as you swing at it. A couple of blades of grass and even a couple of small saplings. It easily slices through them. You check the blade, and there appears to be
Didn't
no.
didn't I identify it last night?
Did you make a roll for it?
Didn't make a roll for it, no.
Make an Arcana roll, or you can use your spell using a spell.
Yes.
Okay. So as you identify it, what you notice, Marielle, is that it seems to be laced with this necromantic magic. It also seems to weigh far less than something that has the balance that it does, and the size of a longsword. It seems to weigh less, and it appears to be what in mundane terms would be called a fine sword, a +1 longsword, but I'm
sorry,
not
cut
sure.
out
What?
a little bit there.
A +1 longsword.
Huh?
Can you hear me now? Hello?
You're breaking up, Adam. We're losing
No,
you.
Adam.
No.
We can't hear you.
Wait a minute. Oh yeah. Give me 1 second. My internet appears to be dropping.
Nope.
Nope.
Nothing.
Adam's powering down.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Panicking now.
As
Panic!
we all go to our
Yep.
No, yes.
I heard panic.
I apologize, my internet seems to be sporadic, maybe it's the weather. But here we are back. Yeah, it's a +1, it's a fine sword. It seemed to be laced with this necrotic magic is all you can tell. You also, it also seems to have while its physical weight is low, there's something else about it that even with your identify spell, there's another facet to it that you can't quite comprehend. There seems to be, it has more presence than an item should.
What kind of sword is it?
How I learn its properties and how to use them. So I find that you just use it by swinging it.
Yeah, you don't find any triggers or anything. You do sense the necromantic magic from it, but you don't discover any triggers or code words or anything like that that would activate any other abilities that it may have. as there are none. You're confident that there's no way to activate like a special ability of it, but it is definitely more than something even the fine smith could make. There's definitely something
Okay.
magic about it. So
Can I cast Divine Sense on it?
you can drop that into the chat for me.
My precious.
It absolutely something that you've never seen before is the sword emanates a great evil from it, which is something that you've never encountered in an item. You've seen the residue of evil on things, perhaps. You in your training, you've seen how to, you know that in terms of like spirits and undead creatures, there is certain. It is said that certain stones, certain materials can hold the darkness if they're exposed to it for a long time. And you've heard this is where we get haunted castles and things like that. Things that have seen a great evil inflicted in their presence generally hold these, but this is something else. It seems to emanate this evil itself.
Oh no, evil splurged all over the wall.
I'll let everyone else know what I feel about this sword. This is probably best not to be used by us. We should, in fact, probably try and destroy it in some way.
Can we like put it in a stone or something? Just
Throw
leave
it in a
there?
lake.
Hmm.
We're
Isn't there, like-
near
isn't there a river?
waterfall. Yeah, aren't we near a waterfall?
You left the
Yeah.
waterfall behind you, but you could always go back to it.
I'm
How
afraid
far away is it?
that would turn the water that is needed by the creatures around here. Might
You heard
turn
the
it.
you heard the waterfall when you were crossing the bridge, which was almost a day's travel away, I believe.
Oh, okay, right. Never mind.
What if we bury it?
That
I'm
sounds
not
like the best
burying the
idea.
sword.
Yeah, I
The
was
sword,
worried
the
about
sword
that.
stays with me.
He says
What-
What
with
use do you
an
have
evil
for this
smile.
sword?
What use does anyone have for a sword?
This is an evil. This has an evil presence. There's no good that can come from this.
Did you ever consider the stories of Strahd? People have killed him and he comes back. And you're telling me there's a presence in this sword? Did you consider that might be Strahd's presence?
Yeah, and that would be a reason
It
not.
almost certainly is, but I don't think he'd have left something so important as to end him permanently just for no reason.
He's got a point there, Forgotten.
Either way, it can be
This
useful.
is probably, if anything, it's a trap. He's left this here on purpose.
That makes sense.
Well, I am not leaving it.
Why did I know you were going to say that, Forgotten?
Because I am a hoarder.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, you hoard your smells a lot, that's for sure.
No, I share those.
No,
Chartween is forgotten at the moment.
Not
yeah.
very.
After
No. We
Right,
woke up
Yeah.
and
I could do some
Magical-
strategic bombing and you wouldn't notice the difference.
magical sponge bath
yeah,
Not
when he
gonna
was
happen.
asleep last night.
that's right.
Oh yeah, perhaps
Not
Forgotten.
gonna
There's
happen.
something about Forgotten. You could give him a bath and put him in a completely sterile room, and within 10 minutes he'd be filthy again. It's just something to do. It's just something to do with him. Yeah.
Thinking out my heart, man.
Gallus is not in the mood to argue about the swords, rolls his eyes, and just marches forwards. Come on, let's move on, guys.
Yep.
We don't have time for this.
Excellent. As Gallus leads the party into the mist, and Audric contemplates the possibility of Layman's tiny ventilated hut. Are you heading? Are you heading the same way that you were before?
West. Or is it northwest we were going?
Yeah, we're
Well,
currently going like northish, I think.
Following the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, you try and get a map somewhere.
I know. Who could have a map?
I
I
wonder.
wonder who that could be. We're
Audrey,
not allowed to look at. Put it with his sword that no one's allowed to touch. No one's allowed to throw in the river. No one can look at a map.
It's my
Why
map.
do you think I smell so bad? It's to keep you away from my things.
This is it. This is why he's got all them pockets sewn into the crotch of his trousers.
Gross.
Although the sword's a difficult one to keep, though.
Yeah, we can try
Yeah.
and make sure you don't fall. As you travel on, you travel only perhaps another hour before you begin to see through the mist the silhouette of a large edifice before you. As you approach further, you see what must surely be the inside of the gates that you pass through on your way to Barovia village.
Are the crows still there? Or is
It
it
is
ravens?
covered in
No, it's
ravens.
ravens.
Wait, so we're back at the start.
From what you can see, it appears to be you're now on the inside, but you could approach and inspect. But you do indeed appear to see a very similar structure, if not the same structure,
Are
as
the
these
gates still closed?
The gates are open. They are open towards you this time, as though you would be passing through from the other side.
Dax kind of just
Well-
like pinches the bridge of her nose and just shakes her head and is like, "What the fuck?"
Well- This isn't ominous at all. Continue on. Just pay no mind to any of this. Let's just keep going forward. I
Maybe-
don't want to deal with any more mind fuckery.
Is this the way out?
You know, I was thinking about
Hey,
the
maybe
whole way
you can
out
just
of it.
leave. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know, people keep saying
Congratulations, you
that
completed
Pip.
Curse of Strahd.
You did it.
People keep saying that Pip is Vistani or whatever, right?
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So bear with me a sec. What if we just do the whole rope tying thing? We make Pip go first, and Pip keeps thinking, Vandalin, 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 and he leads the way.
Oh, that sounds like a good try.
Just, spitballing here, throwing spaghetti at walls. You know?
Fandlin? Are we going to Fandlin now?
We hope so,
You're-
Pip.
Absolutely trying.
And
I think what would
starts
end up
jumping up
happening
and
is
down.
we'd have an empty rope in front of us eventually, and we'd still be there, and he'd be somewhere in the mist.
Alone.
Oh, I hate this. I hate all of this. Ugh.
Is it definitely the same gates?
You mean the approach to inspect them? Anyone?
Yeah, I'm gonna
well,
I'm gonna
like, if
inspect the
we're-
gate.
Okay, perception
We're
check.
the other side of them.
Forgotten.
We would have come through the town.
Yes.
No, because the mist changes every time.
So, Audrey, since you're asking, you make a perception check as well. Forgotten, you can tell by the lay of the land that certainly as you approach the gates from this side, it's hard to tell. Very much on this side, it's just large, indistinct slabs of stone that end in like what would have been heavy walls that are now broken and crumbled. It would take you a little time to actually walk around the gates from what you can see as you move off to one side and then the other. The walls that were once there have now crumbled, and even the founds have been buried.
Can I see the gate hinges?
You can see the gate hinges. You're close enough now, I'm assuming, to you're at the gate
Yeah.
and you're looking through. As with the 24, you can tell that the land is different. The road that you're on is not the road that you remember when you pass through it, having spent some time at the gate inspecting it and looking through.
Yeah.
As you look through to the other side, you can see one large half-broken face of one of the statues, and you can see that the statues are there. You now in the standing under the almost in the gateway. You can look up and see the statues, but the bits that are lying on the ground, the heads seem to be different. This does appear to be a different gate, but of what would have been an identical structure at some time.
Dax
I'm
walks
gonna-
up to the gate and kicks it. Stupid fucking.
It barely moves. You gong.
Ow!
And the ravens all begin to hoot and holler. A couple of them circle before settling down again.
Can I use heat metal to melt the hinges?
I don't know that you can get them to that temperature. Are you sure? I don't think you can. I don't think you can melt them, but you can certainly heat them up.
Yeah, I'll use heat metal to heat them up, like as hot as I can heat them.
Okay, drop it in the chat. The hinges are about the length of Forgotten's forearm. These things are huge, from your elbow to the tip of your finger.
Herbert, don't fuck with the gate.
And they begin heating up, and you hear the creak of metal as the hinges begin to heat up, and you watch as Forgotten stands, concentrating, hand out held as these hinges heat up. You can't quite get them to the point of melting, but you can hear the creak and rattle as the metal begins to expand.
Can I get them glowing red?
Oh yeah, you can get them glowing a good orange, a good dark orange, like.
I'm gonna pull out the sword and take a good whack at them and see if I can break them now that they're weakened.
Seriously, Herbert, what the fuck are you doing?
Okay, Rika, roll a d20.
17.
If he doesn't have proficiency, it should be with disadvantage as well.
It's hard to hit, hard to miss the thing. I just wanted to see if I could get him to roll a natural one and have him stab himself in the face. Yeah, your hand whacks off, or your sword smashes off, and there's a boom that rattles through the gate, and the ravens go ballistic and begin screeching and circling the gate, almost like this vortex that begins circling above it. The gate rattles and hums for what must be a good minute or two, but apart from a very sore arm, as the vibrations rattle through you, you can see a slight little indent in the hinge. You're not sure whether the gate will close again, but you haven't broke it.
That's enough for me, because that's all I was wanting to do, was to damage the hinge, so if we come across another gate, we can determine if it's this one.
Do you tell the party that?
No.
Okay.
Oh my god.
How useful.
I'm just going to put the sword away and look a bit smug.
Yeah, I cast.
I take that.
My hand's still vibrating like hell.
Yeah.
I take that look back to the group with that smug look on his face, like recognition that he knows the name Herbert.
It worked.
Huh.
Yeah.
And I circle that name in my notebook.
Oh, you need to recreate. This is merchandise. You need to recreate this notebook of insults and people you need to piss off. And okay.
And all the names you've written down for me.
I legit have a list.
Take inspiration if you don't already have it forgotten. You pass through the gates, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Yep.
As you do, this cacophony, these ravens, almost the second you pass through, the coin seems to settle, almost in the same moment, and they circle and settle again, and watch as you move forward into the mist and approach what appears to be a more densely forested area. And as you pass through, see, I'm looking at the world map so I can count taxes. You spend the rest of the day passing through this damp, dense forest. You can see the trees beginning to thin out as you approach what you assume is coming through the end of it as the evening drops away. What do I need? I think Dax and Marielle. What's your passive perception, Robert?
16.
So Dax, Marielle, and Forgotten, you each notice almost at the same time as you're walking on this what again once was an old road, muddy footprints that begin to appear almost out of nowhere. You notice them for their oddness. They don't seem to come. They just start in the middle of the road, moving off, sunk into the mud, and everything's a bit damp around here. But the ground below you's pretty solid, except for these footprints that seem to have sunk into it, as though someone wearing muddy boots has just tracked ahead of here recently.
How
Heavy?
large are they?
Look at the footprints.
They're about as large as an average sort of man-sized foot. You do notice that there seems to be like little bits of dirt and stone, some bits of dried grass stuck in with it as well as you inspect closer.
Is it like a walking gait or a running gait, or is it a shambling?
It
Most-
appears to be like a walking pace. Every now and again, there is one of the steps is larger than the other, as though a little leap was made, a little jump.
Does it look like it was a heavy individual? Because like heavier than us because the ground is fairly dry.
The footprints aren't that sunken in.
Okay.
No, it doesn't appear to be anything heavier than yourself.
Okay. Look, guys, there's somebody ahead of us.
Anybody, you may inspect them further if you wish with the roll.
I'm
Survival.
gonna have a look
Oh,
around
fuck.
and see if I see like what caused them.
Okay, make me similarly. Survival would be exactly the right roll. Well done, Mario.
What, you want me to roll
Four
again?
minutes.
No,
No.
that's fine. No, you just made the right call because I was waiting for someone to call for
Yeah.
Jackson there. You cannot see where they come from. They appear to just start in the middle of the road. You cannot see where they appear to have come from. As you, sorry, go ahead, Dax.
The initial footprints, like the very first ones, do they look to be like deeper than all of the other ones? Like they landed there?
Make me a survival check.
2 feet together or
Yeah. Oh dear. 6.
yeah.
It's hard to discern. Again, there is little. From what you can see, we see now the party standing still, having stopped to look at these, and you can see them disappearing off into the mist, only a few meters ahead of you, before you lose sight of them.
Well,
But you
that's
do
fucking
see
weird.
enough to see a little leap here, a little jump there, almost interspersed
I'm
with
gonna
these
walk
steps.
in the actual footsteps,
Okay.
following the motion, because
Okay.
something's screaming out to me that this might be a trap.
Ooh.
So you decided following them would be the best option.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking if they're leaping for a reason. So
Can I. Does Forgotten tell us what he's doing?
So, can I cast a divine sense as well, please?
Yeah.
I'm
Go
just
ahead.
gonna look to the group and go, "Hey, look, hopscotch."
What's hopscotch?
And we shake our heads. The grumpy old man's really losing it now.
Okay.
Don't touch my sword.
Let's keep things in order. So as Forgotten looks back over his shoulder to say this, and Gallus begins casting divine sense. You follow the footprints with your eyes and now with your feet. You notice that they appear to turn off into the woods ahead of you.
Oh.
As you move off from the party, Forgotten, you look under the dark canopy into the mist. You're suddenly struck with this intense feeling like you're being watched. Gallus, as you're casting your spell, you begin to get this, or you're activating your divine sense. You begin to get this, the same feeling as does Dax and Marielle. Audric, Pep seem none the wiser.
Somebody here.
As you look in, you begin to see a figure peering out of the forest back at you in the direction that the footprints go. Forgotten. The shape of this figure within deep into the tree line, and you feel this gaze burrowing deep inside you, deeper than just a penetrating gaze. It seems to cut down into what you could only call your soul. You feel as though immediately you're falling from a great height. Those with high perception, so Marielle and Dax, you begin to get this feeling also as you glance around, as you watch Forgotten
falling.
freeze. This feeling of falling, almost like falling backwards, but you're not. It's just this hard feeling in your chest. Can you three make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh, lordy.
Gallus, as you activate your divine sense, you do indeed feel this this presence of. Let me just check something.
Natural 20.
You feel darkness within the forest in this area. You feel an yeah, you feel a darkness, but that's with how your divine sense works. I'm afraid that's all you can gather from that. There's a darkness.
So I can sense
somewhere
evil,
nearby.
but I don't know like what type it is. Or
No, and even that's more than what your spell allows you to do, because all
Yeah.
your spell really triggers is similarly with the sword. All your spell are actually triggers is celestial
Celestial
field or
field.
on
Yeah.
yeah. So you get this darkness. Wisdom save, Marielle and Dax. Dax, the fear that seems to be penetrating you seems to become overwhelming, and you find your feet frozen to the spot. You can no longer move. Marielle and Forgotten, you manage to shake this fear off. As Forgotten, you watch as this figure begins to like lurch towards the group. The rest of the party, including Audric now and Pip, as Pip grabs onto Dax and begins shaking her leg. Dax, what's the matter? What's the matter, Dax? You begin to hear, yeah. You begin to hear like running from the forest, from either side of the forest, haphazardly running, skipping, and stumbling, trundling from the tree line on both sides of the party. There appear to be a number of these ragtag, misshapen scarecrows. Their hands, you can see as they raise them, as the silhouettes begin to fall away, and you can see their figures appear to be made of rusted, worn knives. Their stuffing is a mix of mud and clay. Dead ravens stuff them as poke out of neck, collars, of sleeves. You can see the dried blood and black feathers. There's an air of rot a scent of rot in the air as they approach. Their eyes are these glaring patches of darkness. And give me 1 second. I need to drop you onto a map. Burp.
Yikes.
Can everybody still hear Sirenscape?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Drums.
So, would everybody like to roll a performance, please? Screen.
Oh fuck.
Gotten where it is.
Why
There
is
it
it
is.
you're the one with your feet glued to the ground and you're the one with the highest initiative?
Because I'm scared as fuck and I want to run away.
But you can't.
Oh man. Can you I didn't hit the
Yeah, I can add you.
thanks.
What'd you get?
15.
Tax Gallus Forgotten.
There's Audric's.
There goes.
Let's do this.
So,
Can we see a bigger picture of the scarecrow?
Yeah.
You can. Sorry, I was just getting the initiative orders for it. Yeah, as these things bound through the forest towards you, they're almost like prancing and dancing. They jump in the air and do little pirouettes as though in some sort of merry glee as they charge before you. Things that look like they shouldn't be able to stand, but they are standing and they are running joyously almost, although it's hard to tell with their sackcloth faces as they charge towards the party.
My god, this is weird.
You are where's the right? Dax, you are frightened. Put that in. Sphere. And you are paralyzed with the sphere.
Okay. I
So,
have.
first up in the turn order is Dax. And I will. You're paralyzed, you're frightened and paralyzed until the end of the Scarecrow's turn. Okay? You're a bit quiet for me, Dax.
Hi.
Next up, Audrey.
Okay. I will use Counter Charm.
Ooh.
So I start.
You can start performance class until the end of next. Nice, okay.
Is that an action or a bonus action?
As an action.
As an action.
Okay,
Okay.
that's it. Yep.
Next up is Pip, who is just going to dash over to Dax and begin like shaking her and saying, Pip, there's monsters. The monsters are coming, Pip. Or Dax, the monsters are coming. You need to. What are you doing? You need to help us, Dax. And begins like shaking at your leg.
They're just hyperventilating.
And then the Scarecrows are going to charge him. Start with this one. This one's gonna, as it leaps and jumps through the air and pirouettes, it's gonna make a claw attack with these bladed fingers. I forgot. Rolls a 10 and a crit 23. So you take 7 plus 8. So you take 15 damage as these things jump and look because they have the Scarecrow.
I thought it only had one attack.
It's got multi-attack.
Alright, okay.
Okay.
So
So it jumps and like spins through the air, pirouettes with these like these blades. It almost like helicopters into you with these bladed fingers.
how much damage?
The total in the second hit was 15. 7 and then better crits. Or no, yeah, that's right. Next up, the next Scarecrow.
Giving me a
is going to
concentration.
difficult terrain, and because you were concentrating this up, and I took the marker away. Don't worry about it. That's 10, 20 as this thing jumps up onto the log and like teeters along it like a school kid teetering along a seesaw, merrily walking along it. The log is our difficult terrain. It's 25, 30, and yeah, it doesn't know any better, so it's going to use the rest of its turn dashing in towards its mark. These other ones, I'll slow down. That's 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, and likewise, they're just going to charge on up as they dance and spring towards you, Gallus.
I will attack that once it gets within 10 feet.
Okay, go for it. And I'll move the next one, so you can roll your attack on that. 30 feet.
Does 13 hits?
13 does hit, yeah. I'll move the rest of them up. Oof! Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, so you swing your glaive at it and manage to knock a big chunk of its stuffing away, and you can see that as you rip away the sack that is its body, and these dead ravens and mud and hay fall away. It's just like a wooden pole, almost a branch that seems to be its spine that is left. Its midriff now torn away. Although the creature doesn't seem any less jovial for it. This one's gonna charge up and make attack at Dax because she's the closest. Claw. 17 and 6, so the 17 misses, the 6 misses, and the 17 hits. You take 7 slashing damage as this thing gashes your face.
Uncanny dodge.
You're paralyzed, so I don't think you can do
Right.
that. Yeah. I think it actually gets advantage, so it should get the second hit as well. I'll just check what paralyzed is. Just confirm I'm not doing you out anything.
It's it auto hits.
Yeah, so yeah, you take another 7 slashing damage as the other one barrels in. That's another 2 of these creatures. Charge up. That's 30.
I missed one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're gonna charge up as they bear down on the party. Okay, next up, Marielle. These things are merrily dancing their way and quickly surrounding the party. What would you like to do?
Would like to cast Magic Circle, but I'm looking and saying this guy's gonna hit me and screw up my concentration. So I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians instead.
Nice.
Okay.
Since we're all bunched up. These guys are weird. Did you find a picture of them? So I gotta find those.
What, the scarecrows?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, put a picture of the scarecrows up. Can you see that picture?
No.
No. Wrong way, probably.
No, they're on the right there, because you can see them on the map, no?
Ooh.
Oh, there they are. That's super cool.
Yeah, it is super cool.
Yeah. So I don't know why I wasn't showing up for you before. I'm getting all this
Huh.
slowed down here.
That's all right. Okay.
Okay.
Um.
I'll just... Damn. Yeah, you've got a spell slot back. You need to fix your spell slots actually, because it's saying your all spell slots are selected, and you should have all your spell slots except that one. Where would you like to place it? You place it on an axis.
I thought it was.
I can.
Place it on an axis, so one of the corners at your top left. Yeah.
I
And it's centered
also
on
thought
you.
that they were squares, like my
Sent
aura.
from me.
No, your aura is different because it just says within 10 feet of you. She
Okay.
summons a circle, so it's a circle.
Yeah. And okay. Whoops. And that is an action. And I don't have any things that aren't a.
Got
That
bonus
aren't
action?
a.
Spiritual weapon bonus
Nope.
action?
Yeah, but that's 2 spells.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is.
Oh, can I hit him? No, because that's a
An action.
bonus action.
Okay, is that you?
Yep.
At the start of their turn, they will take that damage. His mark is up as he draws his sword. It says, "Irina, stay back! The Lord has sent his fiends for you." And pulls out his longsword, and he's going to attack the one. I guess he's gonna step away and try and intercept this one. So he's gonna take an attack from these 2 guys because Irina and Pip are gonna be his thing. Claw. Only one of them hits. You see these 2 things like merrily slashing at him, and one of them manages to cut him across the back, but luckily it doesn't look too bad compared to what these bladed fingers could do. And he's going to make his longsword. He brings it down. Oh fuck man, he's a badass. Yeah, he begins immediately cleaving in, stuffing in mud, and dead ravens fly everywhere as he cleaves into this one below Pip. Irina, get the boy, get yourselves to safety. Minus.
Circle, I yell.
Nice. Gallus, you're up.
Right. So I'm going to point at the one that I just attacked.
Yeah.
And like a faint, like I don't think anyone else can see it, but like in my eyes I can see like an arrow, like just form above its head. And I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark.
Nice.
Cool.
Go. And then I'm going to take my first attack against it. "22 should hit, I guess.
Yeah, 22 does it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's barely making an effort. Not making an effort at all.
So
So
that's 18.
let me see it. 18. Yeah, the thing immediately begins to like almost fall apart. There's little left in like a large branch that you can see now as its legs begin to fall away. It's just like a stick man inside this these sackcloth stuffed.
Is it still standing though?
It's still standing, yeah.
All right. I'll take my second attack against it as well. Actually, no.
You can do your
Yeah,
body,
yeah.
your staff thing. It looks like, from
I
what
can't do the
you
butts
know.
of my stuff because it's a bonus action, and I used that on Hunter's Mark.
Ah.
Yeah, so I'll just take my second attack against it.
Yes.
I shan't bother marking it with Hunter's Mark then. Yeah, as you cleave into this thing, the branches and the blades, the hands all just like almost explode apart with even more force than you put into it. Whatever was holding them together, because it doesn't seem to be vine or thread, they all just clatter to the ground. The branches now mundane. It looks like a pile of refuse now, as it lies in bits, dead.
And then what I'm gonna do with my movement is I'm gonna move like so.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that. Thank you for calling that. Yeah.
Okay, so like this, I have now, like, that scarecrow on top of me has left my range. So if it takes a step forward, I get an opportunity attack against it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep, cool. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Is that you?
That will be me. Yeah.
Forgotten you're up. Dax, you're on deck. As you feel this this fear, you see Pip. You hear Pip screaming now, and you manage to feel your feet becoming unstuck from the ground. Forgotten.
I'm going to use poison spray on this one.
Okay.
Wow, that was shit.
Yeah, you spray it with poison, and you see the liquid blasting into its face and soaking its sackcloth corpse or sackcloth body, but it doesn't appear to do any damage.
You're not doing the concept for it at all?
Doesn't appear to do anything to it.
Right, okay.
This
for
is
my
what you will learn about poison. Everything's immune to it.
Yeah, well, certainly sacks are.
Yeah.
for my bonus action, I will wild shape.
Okay.
And I'm going to go for the bear.
Okay. Yeah. Again, we're coming up against the issue of there's no room for you to wild shape here, but you can always shunt someone out, I guess. Go for it. You can wild shape into the bear, but you'll be squeezed.
Yeah.
It might knock us over.
Anything else forgotten?
No, that's my turn.
Okay. Dax, you're up as you become unstuck and unfrightened.
Hearing Pip scream, it just starts to like burrow into my skull, and I finally come to again.
At this point, he's climbing you like a tree. He's like halfway up your back.
I pick him up the rest of the way, and I throw him over my shoulder. And is that a tree?
Pick it again.
Tree.
If it's dynamically lit, then it's a tree. Everything else is a bush and therefore difficult terrain.
Great. Okay. Yeah. So I pick up Pip, throw him over my shoulder, and I bonus action disengage.
Okay.
And run towards the tree.
Nice.
And tell Pip, climb. Use those climbing skills.
Okay, so that's where you are at the moment. On his turn, he'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
He's just on my shoulders right now.
Yeah. He's like holding onto your forehead. He's like a tight grip on your head, hugging it. Anything else?
No, I assume picking up Pip is an action, and I use my
No,
bonus
no,
action,
he
so I'm
was
good.
already, no, he was already halfway
No?
up you. No, I'll say no.
Okay.
Go for it.
I
Being a
will
hero.
cast Mage Armor on myself.
Audric, you're up.
I will cast Dissonant Whispers at This one.
Okay.
Thank you.
DC 15.
Nice. Wisdom. Oh. It appears not to notice.
Ugh.
It's going for Marielle, and it stops and looks in your direction and sort of waggles its bladed fingers at you contemplatively.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna move closer to Irina.
Okay. Is that you?
Yeah.
Pip's turn up next. He is going to make a Dax save in this case, and check that +2 with advantage because he's a little boy and he's a troublemaker.
Yes.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't feel too
And he's
badly,
been practicing.
he's okay. And he's been practicing, yeah. He clambers up the tree. You should be able to see his saves, so I'll just activate his rules. So I'll activate that now. Yeah, he managed to clamber up the tree. His foot slips once or twice, but he manages to, finally, with you helping behind him, shoving him up, he manages to get up, and you're now free of the child. He's about 50
Good timing.
Good job, little buddy.
Dax, make them go away.
Working on it. You stay safe, stay hidden.
Scarecrows are up. So let's do the damage for the scarecrows. This one is in the circle, so it's going to take the... What's the damage for your... Do you want to start rolling the damage for your... Oh, you did roll the damage.
Did I?
Would have come with a spell, no? Spirit
That's it.
Guardians. 8 damage. Or no, that was the one I rolled. You rolled 15. Nice. So 15 minus 15. Burp. This one is not in the circle because that's less than half a circle, but it is going to enter, so minus 15. Minus 15. Minus 15. That's minus 154 of them. And that's all that are in. So you notice again that your spirit guardians aren't quite the same little creatures that you were. Now that you see them bearing down on these creatures as they run in, it's the same little angels, but they're even more haggard than they were before. They have fewer feathers on their little wings. They look weakened, although no less vicious for it. But the whole your magic field is powerful, but the creatures don't have the same jovial little looks on their faces that they did before as they bear down on these things, but they seem to be doing the same amount of damage. So,
I'm sorry, the scarecrows don't look as jovial, or the
No,
cherubs
the cherubs
eating the things?
The cherubs, your little attacking things look now more gaunt, and their little winged feathers look like a bit frayed and tatty.
Eat up, eat up.
The one beside Forgotten is going to, because it's right on top of Forgotten, because Forgotten's just blipped into its space, is going to attack. 19 and a 7. You take 5 slashing damage, and then I'm gonna move it there just to keep the battlefield clear. The one below you is also gonna make an attack. Claw on the bear. You take 21 and 12. What's the bear's AC? 10.
10.
Okay, yeah, so they both hit. So 7 and 3. Another total of 10. This one's gonna charge Ismark. It's this one here. I'll bring it for you. It's gonna claw. And that hits Ismark. Woof. Should be less than that, I believe. The other one, the other side of Ismark. What crit? So he takes 4 plus 8. So as these things almost, you can see Ismark getting attacked from both sides, and he begins to get knocked back and forward between these things, more concerned with Irina's safety as he is with his own. The one to this one was attacking Marielle, so it's going to attack Marielle Claw. It rolls a 20 and a 6. Marielle, you take 3 slashing damage, and this one is going to begin approaching Audric, like now in like a slow lurch with these little bladed fingers waggling as it approaches Audric. And Claw, you're going to get an opportunity attack there, Gallus.
I won't. It's still within my reach. It hasn't left my melee range.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you're 10 feet reach. Well, it serves you better than it does. Not.
Yeah, yeah.
Audric, it manages to miss you on both occasions.
Good.
An 11 and a 4. As it slashes at you, you manage to wield your mighty instrument and cling clang. You might have lost a few strings in the process, but you've not taken any damage. And then yeah, this one's absolutely gonna go after Gallus. So Gallus, you can make your attack. When I roll it, attacks.
I'm going to put a smite into it as well.
Oof. Can you do that as a reaction?
I don't think so.
Let me just read one sec.
His bonus action
Ma-
smite? No. You can't-
Marielle, did
Not
you do
no.
a con
See,
save?
like smite is not a bonus action or anything like that.
Yeah,
I
you're
can
right.
when I hit with a melee attack, I can expend a spell slot. I just choose whenever I hit, I can just choose to do damage.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm sorry, what was that? Forgotten?
Did you do a con save for your bubble?
Unlucky.
Did I do a what?
I can't save for your
Constitution
bubble
save.
if you took damage. Are you tracking your health on your token, Marielle? It should be doing it
Yes.
automatically. And it should be doing it
47 out of
automatically.
50? Yeah. I'm gonna put.
Okay, yeah. Is that
That's
with
so
the smite?
low.
That's the
Yeah,
smite and everything.
12
Yeah.
damage with smite.
Minus
Unlucky.
12. Yeah. It's alright, you've got plenty of pally left in you. As this thing slams into you, it does 22 and 21, so you take 9 and 9, you take 18 total slashing damage as this thing. As you catch it on your glaive, you stick your glaive through it, and it almost like slides down the pole as your magical energy pulses through it, and its whole center part explodes out in bloodied ravens and straw as it slides down the pole towards you. Your both hands on the pole, you're unable to defend yourself, and it begins like gashing at your face. You now have a bloodied mustache on your face. I think that's them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is them.
They get half movement speed inside the bubble, inside my thing.
Yeah, none of them have moved very far.
And it's when the creature enters the area for the first time, it starts its.
Or starts its turn.
Oh
There, yeah.
no. Okay, that's when it makes a saving throw.
Yeah.
Okay.
They all the ones that were in or that enter this turn did damage at the start.
I believe that I do. You're right. Forgotten. I do need concentration. How do I?
Make a Constitution saving throw. Pick your Constitution. If you go into your character sheet beside where all your main stats are, there's another little bubble beside your armor class that says saving throws. Click Constitution and it'll do it. API should automatically be doing it, but it appears not to be.
The armor class.
Beside armor class, there's a box that says saving throws, and then it's your turn, Mario. Next up is Ismark.
Oh God. Okay.
Did you get it?
Yep,
I got it. Yes, I got it.
Both. You're safe.
Okay. Phew. So it's my turn.
It's your turn. You're up.
So
Gallus,
I'm going
this
to.
is Mark and then Gallus.
I'm going to. I think I'm gonna whack this guy. That guy
I'm refreshing my page. Is that the one on the right or the one below you?
Below.
below.
Make a roll.
With my mace, which I just shut that damn thing. Mate. There's something that looks like it's turning in my. Get that. This. Oh no, I missed. Yeah, it's not the magic circle. And that's saving throws.
Okay, what are you trying to do?
I wanted to hit that guy that I pinged,
Yep, so
but it
roll
looks like I mace is smiting. I rolled a 7.
see, I'm not
that's-
saying that now. You
Um,
missed them.
What are the flanking rules that we use?
Flanking is +2 instead of advantage because advantage is so powerful. It's +2. A lot of the
Okay.
time, I won't use it with creatures because it stacks pretty quickly, especially in 8 versus.
And is it like how me and Mariel are, or just another creature in melee?
So if you to quickly explain it, if you can draw a line through your 2 tokens and it crosses over 2 parallel lines, then it counts as
Okay, so like me and Mariel are flanking this one, but
You are
there's
flanking.
no other flank. Well,
You are
Ismark is
flanking
getting
it.
flanked as well.
Yeah, so Mariel would get advantage on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
+2, right?
Yeah,
Plus
but
two.
Well, how
Mariel,
about-
that's
Plus
the
2,
one
yeah.
below,
So
not the one next to.
9 still does not hit.
Okay.
But
Am
Mariel
I
attacked the
flanking
one
with that
below,
one?
which doesn't
With
get.
her?
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
And
No, you're not flanking because you can't draw a line through you and it
okay,
on parallel lines.
okay. All right, and I want to cast
But yeah, flanking's badass.
and I want
Even
to
nerfing that.
cast spiritual weapon. Oh, I forgot this stuff is here. That didn't.
Spiritual
So
weapon.
I gotta. Yeah. There we go. And that hits. And I'm
Yeah, that hits. Where do you
and
want
I
it dropped?
want it right there.
Go. And then the damage. Click spiritual weapon for me and I'll do the damage. As you see this golden, I'm not sure if you've seen this before, Gallus. Have you seen the spiritual weapon?
Yeah, back in Vandalin.
As it manifests and smashes into this thing and seems to not notice. Anything else? Mariel?
Staying right here.
His mark is up. He's going to pick a target. He's going to pick one to his right. Bloop bloop. God, he's badass. Minus.
Yes.
Minus 21. Yeah,
Awesome.
you see him and
Phew!
these blasted creatures, the Dark Lord will kill us all! Gotta fight back! And he begins to like smash his sword into this thing and like hacks it, and even though it falls to the ground, he just continues hacking into it in this sort of fearful rage. And Irina's not in the turn order. Why is Irina not in the turn order? Turn, she shakes off her the fear. Alright, we'll add her into the turn order. So she was next actually. That's I do. Yeah, let's see how badass Irina is. Boof. She's going to rapier the one beside her brother. Beside her adopted brother. Takes how much damage?
Not such a badass.
Not such. Well, she's just not. She's using a rapier. He's a soldier. Gallus, you're up. That's Irina. You
Right.
hear Irina like stubborn brother.
I like consider my options. That arrow that was pointing over the dead one is still there. It's sort of like bouncing up and down. As a bonus action, I'm going to kind of I'm gonna point at this one and move it on over there. And I'm gonna take my 2 attacks. So basically I'm gonna like dig my glaive into the ground, and then like almost like flinging dirt up at it, like up towards it. I'm gonna like so that it's like maybe a little bit blindsided. I'm gonna like slash it across the face, like in a like diagonal upwards motion.
Yeah. Nice, good description. Yeah, as you kick the dirt up, it just sort of bounces off your face. You see a chunk of muck gets lodged in one of what would be the eye holes, and 11 hits. Yeah. As it stops to almost playfully reach up and like curiously reach up to pull out this this lump of mud that you've stuck in its eye hole, you manage to distract it just enough. You catch it.
I'm just taking off Divine Smite, just so it doesn't add the damage.
Oops, and I forgot.
It's 13 slashing.
You cut it in twain. You bring your blade up diagonally and just the top half of it falls on the ground, and the little legs like totter about a bit, and then they turn and do like one last little jumping sort of pirouette, and then clatter to the ground. And you see immediately the top half of the sack begins to like deflate, and just begins to look like a sack that someone's stuffed dead ravens into. It's now dead.
Oh, it's dead. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to like sort of like I'm gonna do like an almost Superman punch with my glaive. Like so I'm like reaching across like three different like creatures around me, to attack the one attacking Audric.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try and like basically impale it where like sort of like the like the back of its neck, more or less, like try and like almost decapitate it, like by stabbing it in where I would assume its spine is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
And I'll put a smite into it as well.
Nice.
Very nice.
So badass.
We have a tank.
Yeah.
That's not a tank. He's a DPS in the party
He's
at
the
the minute.
DPS. Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough. Audric, as you see this thing, it looks at you and it's waggling its little fingers, and you see like behind its eye sockets these dark emptiness. You begin to see these two red glows, and you begin to feel this fear coming over you. You begin to feel your chest tightening and this coldness running down through your heart. And then the next minute, its head, the sack rips open and its mouth opens and begins leaning towards you. And then the head falls to the side and like clatters to the ground, and the body just falls limp as though someone has dropped the sack. Burp. Next up, Gallus, have you still got your movement?
4.
Forgotten you're up.
So I'm gonna attack this one.
So just quick point forward. Am I allowed to move into the scepter, into the spiritual weapon space? Or does it count as a creature, or?
It's like a spectral sword. You can definitely move through it, but for the sake, I'm gonna say no for the sake of keeping a clear battlefield.
Okay. Can I move into that dead creature space then? This one.
Yeah, it acts as bodies act as difficult terrain.
Can I stand in difficult terrain?
You can stand in it, but it will cost you an extra 5 feet to get in there.
Okay, I'll just go there and stand there.
Cool.
If that's okay.
Yeah, of course it is. Forgotten.
So I'm gonna claw at the one above me.
That's right. Because. Oh.
Claws versus
Take it.
kitchen knives? No, that misses. It begins to like rattle off your claws with its blades.
I'm gonna raise up to my full height and bite down on its head and try and rip out its spine.
You manage to take a chunk out of it, and as you pull back, just a large chunk of cloth gets ripped from the top of its head. Unfortunately, you miss. You've just got like a big chunk of cloth, sackcloth, stuck in your teeth now.
Well, that sucked. Because I had a really cool way of killing it.
Next time.
We all have good ways of killing things.
I like my finger.
I'm not even going to make comment on that. That's far too easy.
No.
Only females can make comments.
Yeah, this is.
Your lack of
What did
comment
you
was
do
comment
last night?
enough.
What did you do last night? I summoned some cherubs and then finger blasted a scarecrow. What did you get up to?
Oh my god.
Forgotten. Would you like to finish your turn?
Yeah, I'm going to extend a spell slot to heal myself.
Okay, go for it.
6 points of health.
You've still got your movement. Dax, you're up. Now, Pip free.
In hopes of keeping these creatures away from Pip, I'm gonna keep my heavy crossbow, not drawn, and draw out my rapier instead and charge towards this guy and try to slice him with my rapier.
It's more a pierce than a slice, but okay.
I'm going to poke him with my rapier. 23 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, and then this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. Ooh. I'm not even gonna re-roll any of those. 23 points of piercing damage.
Do you have a fancy is your rapier just a rapier, or is it +1 rapier, or is it? I can't remember now.
It is just a regular rapier.
Okay. What was the total? -21?
23 points of piercing damage.
As you would expect, as you run your blade through it, It just you feel like you've just put your rapier into like a hay bale. It doesn't feel like you've done that much damage, and the creature doesn't certainly notice. And as you pull it out, you've just left like a tiny little hole. You suspect that you're not doing as much damage on this enchanted creature as you normally would do. You need to get some magic weapons.
Tell
I
me
do
about
have a
it.
spell called Magic Weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As the
I
blades
can do
fly,
that.
just hear I do have a spell called Magic Weapon. As Gallus like shakes his head. Fucking amateurs over here. His body's flying everywhere. Gallus is now like covered in like hay and dead ravens sticking out of his
Mud.
armor.
Mud.
Dex and Hills.
No, that's all. Wait, I was
will-
only attacked twice, right? 7 and 7 the first time.
I don't know. I don't track your health.
Right. I just feel like 18's really low. I don't think that's right. But whatever. Here I am. Okay,
Scroll-
continue
well-
on.
Well, you've just finished your turn. Scroll back up through the chat. Aldrich, you're up.
I'm gonna cast Powder Daggers at that bastard.
Ooh.
Oh, God. Do it level 3.
What's the damage? Minus 13.
And I will inspire Irina, do a little bit more damage next turn.
Nice. What is your inspiration for Irina?
Just a smile.
So, if you have inspiration, take it away. Pep is in the tree, and you can hear him trying to climb higher and higher. Behind you, Dax, you can hear like like branches breaking, and him just like clambering further up the tree. Scarecrow, having been pierced from behind, this one turns on Dax with its little shing 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 shing. It's gonna claw.
Are they
6,
gonna get damage for
7.
being in the?
They are. Would you like to roll your damage again, Marielle? For your thing. What was it? 2d8, 3d8? Is it now? Depending on what level you cast it at. It is 3d8. You can roll 3d8 manually from the side.
Okay, well, I rolled the spell again.
14.
Alright, so it's 14.
Minus 14. That one survives. That one's already dead. God, I love that fucking spell, man. That's why I like playing
Me
clerics.
too.
And that's it. One. Just the 2 inside this time.
Yeah.
So this one, even with Dax, as it turns on you, these little cherubs like are still bearing down on it, and bits of cloth and hay and feathers are flying everywhere as it sort of ambles towards you, and it clawed, and it missed with both attacks. It tries to gets distracted, beginning to bat these little things away. You see cherubs getting sliced in half, and the mix of black and white feathers floating down through the air. This one here beside Marielle. Marielle, your cherubs have pretty much chewed it to pieces. It's little more than rags on a stick now, but it's still hefty enough to claw. It rolls a crit 23, so you take 9 plus 8, 17 damage as the thing wades through your cherubs, and almost attacking them manages to gash your face and chest. And the last 2 are here. Just gonna attack this mark. This mark, minus 5. So turns as fast as I can.
And they're going, how come the
Attacking the bear. A crit fail.
mayor's getting hit?
A crit fail, and you take 4 slashing damage from an 18 slash. Forgotten. As this final one just like slashes into your rump, and in doing so, manages to like it slashes you with one hand and gets its knife stuck into your leg, and in its enthusiasm, almost like slashes its own arm off. And it will take d6 -2. The one behind you, forgotten, looking the most sturdy of all of them.
The one outside the circle or the one in?
The one outside the circle. These two, the two outside the circle, are looking pretty much intact.
Right, okay.
Next up, Mariel.
Moving here, and the circle comes with me. Oops. Oh, there's two. Oh no, this guy looks like he's almost had it, right?
That guy looks like he's rags on a stick.
Okay, and I'm gonna hit him with the spiritual hammer.
Okay, go for it.
Hit. 9.
Yeah, that'll do it. As the spiritual hammer like baseball bats his head across the forest.
I'm imagining Marielle sort of like turning, like as she's fighting this, she just turns around and starts walking away, and then points at that like dead one.
Oh yeah.
And then the hammer just whacks it.
Yeah, Marielle doesn't look at explosions.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is getting moved over here, and both of these, the two that I'm next to, look healthy. So I'm going to, and I know Forgotten's in his bear shape, so he's all right. So I'm gonna whack that one with my Mace of Smiting, as I do all just over the top of their heads. And it's a 15.
That hits.
Nice. Ugh, for one. One of damage. And
How's that?
that's
-1
it.
strength.
-1 strength. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Jeez, man. Yeah, I got a +3 on the smiting on the mace. Oh well. That's all right.
Is that you?
I move. Yes, I move to take care of what's her face. And that's me.
Mariel, thank goodness, protect my sister. Foolish girl. She will fight. It will be the death of her one day. Die, you fiendish monster. And he hits with the second attack.
Nice.
That. And then Edina Koryana. Well, it's gonna she shoulder checks him and like shoves him out of the way. Stand back, foolish boy. I will show you how it is done. Leaps in.
Oh wow!
Show him how it is done.
And she does.
Timely. And minus. Yeah, she runs it through. In fact, that's because. Yeah, they seem to be resistant. Gallus, you're up.
Right. So I'm going to. All right. I'm going to take a step over here. Then, using my DM inspiration, I want to basically do a running jump off of the bear, and then a downward slash onto the scarecrow here, which has my hunter's mark on it.
Yep.
And I really want to crit because I want to see how much damage smite can do.
Okay. So you could definitely, you can definitely do all of that.
So I get advantage on the attack, right?
You get advantage on the attack,
Nice.
and you can definitely move through all that.
Perfect.
That's 16
Well,
still hits.
Yep.
I land there, and then I'll basically I don't know if you've seen like some of the like old samurai movies where they kind of like they pull the entire weapon back and then like do a full lunge forward, like almost like with their entire body.
Yeah, like a body lunge, like a squat
Yeah,
lunge
exactly.
thing. Oh yeah,
Exactly. And I'll try and as I'm doing that, I'll also try and like raise it upwards.
Mhm.
So damage for first attack, obviously. Not with smite, so that's just 10. Just 10.
Oh, okay. -10.
Wait, plus Hunter's Mark. So that's +5.
Okay, yeah. You ripped a fair old chunk out of it. You've like its head is almost now gone. The sack from its head gets ripped back, and what you can see now is like a post with hay sticking out of the collar, and there's just these two little points of light floating to either side of the top of the post, and they begin to glow as they peer at you.
Right, and then that second attack, like almost trying to lift it upwards.
Mhm.
It is flanked, so +2.
+2, yeah.
So it hits, I guess.
Yeah.
Again, without the smite, sorry. 12.
That's okay. Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely. You managed to, so what is your second attack? The second attack is the upward swipe, yeah?
Is that upwards? Like, yeah, I'm putting it through its chest, and I'm trying to drag the entire body upwards so that it almost slides down my glaive.
Yeah, as you do that, as you stab it, run it through, and then pull your blade up, you see this again. The sack comes off the top of it. The whole sack just pulls off it, and it's now just like a stick man. And for a moment, it looks at you, and then looks down and puts its little blades over like where it was crotch would be, and it like it covers itself, and then it just like falls apart and collapses to the ground.
Laughing.
And then for my bonus action, I'm going to scream like Rah! And then I'm gonna hit this one with the back of my glaive, like
Nice.
downwards, like just trying to like almost like as if you're like putting in a fence, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you're posting him into the ground.
Uh-huh. But with a cutting edge.
That's 27.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's 8 bludgeoning.
Yeah, and you see his little feet like into the ground. The little half stuffed shoes, you can see his little heels like drive into the ground.
And that is my turn.
That's plenty, my friend, plenty. Forgotten you're up. As you have this heavily armored warrior like running along your back, and then you just hear a couple of clashes and a lot of wood thudding to the ground.
So I'm gonna go up to my full height, and I'm gonna chomp down the one that's now attacking Dax.
Mhm.
See what this does.
No. You get +2 because you're flanking, so yeah, it does hit.
Alright, cool. 6 points of damage. Not overly grateful.
Yeah, you as you bite into this thing, you chomp down on its like a sackcloth head and begin like dogging it. You begin like shaking it, and the head comes apart. And Dax, you see as this thing is bearing down, it's swiping its claws at you, and then for a moment it like totters off, like it can't see you anymore, and it's just like tottering off, waving its hands about before slumping to the ground, dead.
Bearing down.
Bearing down, nice.
I'm gonna use the rest of my action to use my paw to try and get the cloths that's stuck in my teeth out.
Easy enough done. You very daintily with a single claw pull this out. Next up, Dax.
I'm going to put my rapier away, give a little nod to McFuzzy Pants, and run up onto this log to try to get a better vantage point, and take out my heavy crossbow to try to shoot that guy.
Yeah, he's gonna get at least half cover, but you get +2 to his AC.
Well, that's what I'm doing.
If you try and shoot through the melee.
You're trying to shoot past the real.
17 to hit.
17 does hit, yeah.
Nice.
You call your shot.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna reroll that one. That's better. 20 points of piercing damage.
Yeah, as the rest of, as is Mark, Irina, Gallus, and Marielle begin to bear down in this thing. It shows no fear, as it just sort of like begins slashing out, almost like jumping and spinning in the air, trying to slash at them all at once. There's no facial expression on it that you can discern, but it looks merry in the moment, and then you just see this as this bolt just goes through its head and carries its head like 20 feet back, and the thing almost like throws its hand up and like, oh, I give up. The hands just like throw up, and when they fall back down, it just collapses to the ground.
And then I just wave at it. Bye.
Good shot, Dax.
Thanks.
Normality is
Okay.
returned.
Looking around to see who's been hit besides me.
Before I drop my animal form, I'm going to use my bear's keen smell to see if I can notice anything else around.
Okay, do that. You get advantage, yeah. As you sniff the air. These things smell like blood and death. Even with your keen smell, you have advantage on the roll, but these things smell like death. More than the death of animals, they have a certain scent on them that is, you can't discern what other creatures they've killed. You can definitely smell these dead ravens that they seem to be stuffed with. As you lean down to sniff at the one in front of you, the 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 last with the last scarecrow that's just fallen not too far away to the ground. Before the rest of the party can even sheath their weapons, 4 of these creatures leap up from the earth and stand up, what is left of them, and they burst into a green flame. This magical green flame that casts only the slightest glow. You all reel back as the area is illuminated by this sickly green glow. And they each reach out. Those that still have a bladed hand reach out towards the party, towards the person who killed them. And each one speaks with a single voice before burning up. And what they say as they reach out to you is, Baba Lysaga, Baba Lysaga wants you. And then they just like explode in this green fire and like clatter to the ground in their bits and pieces.
Hmm.
Well, that's super fucked up.
Really?
I feel like I'm saying that a lot these days.
Yeah, well, we're in the same place as the murder house was.
Ugh.
I know. We didn't like that. Don't
After
like this.
finishing my circle of going round all the different piles of this stuff, I'm gonna go up to a tree and start scratching my back.
Yeah. Well, these are the bare necessities of life, are they not?
Yep.
Go
Go,
ahead.
Sarah.
No, you first. You ummed first.
I am first.
That is the rule.
Before calling Pip down, I would like to just kind of scan around to see if I can see any more eyes in bushes, or if I can see anything that might have been like controlling these things, just another presence around.
Perception check.
Okay. 17.
You see nothing else. What you can see through the mist is very little. How long does your divine sense last again, Gallus?
It's just until my next turn, so it's just 6
Okay, so
seconds.
it's done. Okay.
Pip, you can come down now.
Pip's in the tree getting shaken about like nobody's business.
Yeah, Pip's like holding onto this tree for dear life. Dax, the spelly man's doing something to the tree.
Drop on him.
Did you? Okay. And you see this little, hup! and you just get this little kid landing like butt over your eyes. He just like lands on you and then slides down your back. Haha, smelly man. Are the scarecrow men gone?
Yeah, they appear to be gone. Good job hiding. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. I like hiding.
Yeah,
the
it's
only
pretty
thing
fun,
I can.
right?
Yeah. So we're going to
Yeah.
Fandlin now, like you said, yeah?
We're trying.
Tr-
We're
We're
trying.
trying.
Yeah. Adults always say that.
Yeah, they do. But it's true, we are
Yeah.
trying.
I know, Dax.
Okay.
I know. Can I ride in your
I'm
back
gonna
again?
look at.
You absolutely can.
I'm
Excellent.
gonna look at
She's
Pip
my
in
rapier.
disgust.
I want to ride in the smelly man, but after that fright, I might be sick. So we'll just ride in your
That's fair.
back.
Okay.
Forgotten, carry on.
I'm gonna look at Pip in disgust after he's just slid off my face and give one of them like big bear huffs and go.
Yeah, as you huff at me like,
Yeah.
you need to brush your teeth, bear.
Yeah, he needs to do a lot of hygienic things.
Yeah. He sure does, Dax. He sure does. And he like slips his little hand into yours.
Oh.
Is everybody okay? Are the adventurers alright? And he like looks towards the party. Audric, you okay? You didn't run away this time?
Mm.
Audric is not here.
Oh,
Yeah, we lost her. We
Oh.
lost him.
maybe she did run away.
Maybe she did.
I'm going to walk up to Ismark. I'm gonna say, "Ha! You fought well, brother. I was impressed."
And you can see he's taken aback by this, and you're like, "Thank you, brother. I've not unskilled. You yourself. I fear you. You carried the battle for us. It is much appreciated." And he like he holds the sword up and like puts it to his forehead and gives a little informal bow.
I'm gonna be a little more casual. I'm gonna like come right up to him, put my arm around his shoulder. I'm gonna cast lay on hands on both myself and him,
Nice.
just to get us up to full.
You can see he's
Well
sort of
done, well done. Glad we
awkward,
can count on you.
awkward by this contact. He almost winces away, and then as the lay on hands comes over, he like, thank you, brother. It is nice to find someone to count on. I fear my sister, she is young, and immediately you see Irina like, oh god, like begins like rolling her eyes and goes to walk away. And she does a similar thing. She goes to Marielle and says, I was glad when you came and stood beside me, Marielle. My brother is a fine swordsman, but he puts himself in danger. I know you have your priorities correct."
Yep, I do.
How much damage did Ismark take?
Ismark is not too far off half health.
Okay.
He's got
I,
he's got more health than you. I don't want to give you numbers. What's kind of
I healed myself for 18. I can't heal him more than his max health. So I've got 12 left. Does
Okay.
it all go?
Yeah, it will all go. If that's your
And
intent, if you're topping him up.
and I need to do a little triage here, and so Gallus is healed back up. What's his face is
Ismark's looking much sturdier now, and for the first time, you see signs of relief and almost a slight happiness come across his face. Dax is
awesome.
looking pretty bloody. The Forgotten has taken a few cuts. It's not,
Okay.
Irene
How
is
about
pretty good. Irene's fine.
Audric?
Audric is fine.
Okay, I guess I'll go.
Sadly, he was as effective with Sarah here as he was without her here.
Yeah. Well, I'll go touch do a cure wounds on on Dax, which
Oh, well, before you use your wonderful skills,
uh-oh.
can we just chill out for a bit? I can just, we want to rest for half hour before wasting your skills when may need them. And just sit here and recoup.
So you're not that low.
Well, I am, but I don't want you to waste a spell slot.
Then I cure wounds on you.
Just kind of like, shut up, Dax.
Yeah.
All you hear
And,
from me when we say about taking a rest is, yes, food. With a crow from the scarecrow and like try and hold it over the flames to cook it.
The ravens.
So
You
fucking
taking the
weird.
ravens out of
Yep.
the scarecrows?
Yep.
Make me a survival check.
So fucking weird.
cure wounds on me.
That 10 healing, is it actually 13? Oh wait, no, you're not
No,
life
she's
No,
not life
anymore.
I'm not
So
anymore.
it's just 10. Okay.
And the second one is for me.
Yeah, you managed to from all these crews, most of the ravens you notice that are actually quite well rotten. You do manage to find one that looks more recent. A single raven that seemingly has had its head cleanly sliced, and is fresh enough to eat without incurring any sort of sickness. Would the party? Are you taking a short rest then, or are you just gonna march on? As was
Well,
suggested.
Forgotten needs to eat a frickin' meal now. I guess kind of have to wait.
It's forgotten. I imagine he doesn't even pluck this thing. I imagine he's just biting it like a Mars bar.
Gross. You're so gross.
No, because the flames will burn off any feathers.
You are
Oh my god,
so gross.
that's not how
What?
it works. Okay, so you setting up? Are you taking a short rest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so anybody that wishes to roll hit dice may do
Oh
so.
yeah. Ooh, that's nice.
So I hear when I read it, it says that you spend a hit dice.
Yep.
What does that mean?
So you have a hit dice. You have a hit dice equal to your level, I believe. What is it again?
You have
Yeah.
6 hit dice.
So rare to use this. Yeah. You have 6 hit dice. You roll it and you add your con mod, and then that'll give your.
That's how much you heal during the rest.
So
Okay.
you can roll one and see what you get, and then roll another one and see what you get, and roll another one and see what you get. You don't need to make a call. You can say I want to roll them all, or I want to roll one and then one and then one to try and.
Oh, okay. And that's your hit dice for what, the day?
Yeah, for until your next long rest.
Yeah.
You get your hit dice back on your long rest.
So you can have multiple rests in a day, and then it's eking those
Ah.
out.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna roll my hit dice is can't see D8.
How long would you consider a short rest, Adam?
I think
Like how long?
at minimum sort of an hour sitting.
An hour, okay.
Do you need something in particular?
No, I'm just curious as to like what we could consider a short rest.
So an hour would be sort of the very minimum
Yeah.
I would suggest. But then if you need it to be, you could make it 2 or 3 hours. You just won't get any additional benefit unless you're doing something that you think will take that much time.
Yeah.
If anybody wants an extra hit dice, I can sing them a song.
I'm fine. I just used the one.
No time for your tunes.
No tune time.
Well, we're taking a short rest. There's always time for music. Come now, Dax. You should know that.
Yeah, Dax.
Yeah, Dak. So
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Drake.
I'm gonna roll my eyes while chomping on this raven.
It looks horrible to
They
the
are.
rest of the party.
Um,
It looks like
Emily,
it looks like a
yeah.
bird with melted feathers on it.
Oh God.
Even though
Forgotten it tastes like steak. It tastes beautiful.
even though I was making fun of Audric, I used another dice.
I roll my eyes really hard.
Yeah, so everybody can
Children.
everyone can roll 1 additional d6 of hit points. If that means if you want to retcon some of your dice there, you may. I'm having trouble with the music. Can everybody else hear Sharenscape?
Nope.
I have it down really low, so
Turn it
I don't
back
know.
down because of the music.
Two.
join that battle.
Oh, this has got nothing on it. The Sirenscape. Right
Yeah,
now.
I've just killed it, but I'm not getting it coming through at all. Okay. So, you finish your short rest.
Just
And
get out of here.
proceed onwards. Let me see where you're headed. Why don't we take a quick break there then, and we can press
Okay.
on after. Okay.
Cool.
And let you
Yeah,
figure
no
out.
worries.
Marielle, can you figure out your spell slots, because it's been saying expended all along. So, oh, maybe it's a nightmare to do now because I need to go back. But yeah, you can track your spell slots in the thing. That would be good. Are you tracking them on paper?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I've used 2 1s, 1 2, and 1 3.
Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate you tracking your health on the token. It just makes everything clearer for myself.
Yeah. No, that's understood. I have no idea how to do it with the spells.
Don't worry
None.
about it. As long as you
I've gotten good. I can add. Oh, why is there 2? And you know something? I erased something that you probably did. I took out non-detection. Non-detection. Yeah, it was in there twice. One as domain and one as not. So I took that out because I saw it and I wanted to add my last spell, last 3rd level spell, which I took Magic Circle.
Cool.
10-minute break? 5-minute break?
We'll take a 5-minute break because we're at half 9 already. I want to get used to
Yeah.
wherever it is you're going.
Okay, 5 minutes.
Okay.
Great. Body parts.
What was that said again? Sorry.
Body part. I heard it.
Body parts. Yeah. Now people are going like, wow, we've just had a weird conversation that's ended. Yeah. We were just talking about
Goddamn flies.
we were just talking about what we had for dinner there. Thanks for your input, Meg. So,
Dead crow.
as the party finishes their short rest with these the eerie parts of these creatures lying on the ground round about, do you wish to proceed? Dax, your hand
Oh
is now
God,
numb
yes.
with Pip holding on.
Let's get out of here. I don't like this area. We're going into a forest.
You've just left a forest, and then you're now woken. You're now passing out through what appears to be large hills on either side. They slope up off to the point where you can't see them in the mist, but you can discern their height by what little starlight is passed through, and what little moonlight as the sun begins to descend. You can see that the stars in Barovia come out early and leave late. And as you pass through these hills, you're almost in a tight valley. The path being at the very center of the valley, and the road almost immediately rising to your left and your right as you follow this winding path of this old rotten road. And as you pass further along, you come to a crossroads of sorts. There's the road leads on straight after many meandering turns. But there is a left-hand turn where the road is as it was for maybe only 1 or 2 meters before turning into a dirt track. And as you peer off into the distance of the mist, you can just hear a faint, very distant, very faint winding of almost wood rubbing against wood.
Something hanging?
Echoing through the mist.
What is that sound?
Sounds like it would be quite loud, but it's in the distance. It's another sort of a good few 100 meters from where you are, from what you can discern.
Any signposts?
There are no
Would you like me
signposts
to
here.
go check it out?
Let's keep walking, and
please.
we'll not check it out too close, but let's see if we can get an idea of what it might be.
Yes,
I
sounds
can
good.
be sneaky. We'll probably go a little bit closer than a
Okay.
group of us.
Why don't we?
Had a map.
If
If
we
only.
only
And
had
look
a
at
map.
Herbert.
If
only had a
only.
map.
Hey Herbert, you want to show us that map you got?
I'm just gonna look around just to see.
Herbert,
Who the hell's Herbert?
Herbert, 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 Herbert.
Dax, you've said it so many times now that the word no longer makes sense in your head. Herbert.
Dax,
Herbert.
Herbert.
We'll wait here.
Fergal.
gonna pull out a cooked raven leg from my top and just start chomping on it while I'm waiting for this Herbert or whoever it is to show up.
Oh my god, as a person, you're chomping on this old.
Cooked raven leg.
I'm sorry?
Cooked raven leg.
Cooked raven.
You don't know how long it had been like rotting inside the scarecrows for.
He made a check. It was relatively fresh. He managed to find the one fresh amongst the plethora of not so fresh.
Still
Wow.
raw.
I walk up to Forgotten, tap him on the shoulder. Herbert, let's see the map.
I'm gonna like point the bone and go, who the hell's Herbert?
Possibly you.
No, just no. Keep munching on my.
Take out my little book. I cross out the circled Herbert. Can we see the map, please?
Fine, and chuck the rest of the drumstick away and start rummaging through my clothes until I pull out this leather-bound book.
Okay.
Thank you.
A book?
As night quickly descends, even looking at it now, you've looked at this book a few times between you, and while there are traceries of the map, there are no landmarks on the map, which is what the issue is. If you look at it, you can see that it is clearly a map of somewhere, but the threads have been plucked out or worn out, and it's difficult to track where you're coming from, particularly in this mist.
Is there anything that we might recognize, like for example, like the village that we started at, or
This is the issue.
Gates.
The map seems to be as much. It seems to be, while there are some threads of what appear to be strong lines that you could theoretically connect if you ran your finger through them. It's as much topographical as it is. The threads that are left appear to be as much topographical as they are of roads and paths and villages. Again,
okay, so
if
it's like a natural map, basically.
If there were circles or shapes that seemed non-natural, it would be easier to discern.
So it's probably just all outdoors, woods, no habitations.
It looks
There's
like
no roads or anything.
What about
like-
bodies of water? Because we've passed a couple.
Make me an insight check, Mariel.
Hey. Look, did I do it? No. Oh, motherfucker.
Ooh, that bad.
Yeah. From your learnings, you would imagine this is what a map might look like if a cartographer had set out into an unknown land with the basic tools and had made a map of such a place.
You said there was a stylized bee on it. Is it something that we recognize? Maybe we've seen in Barovia at all? Something similar?
No, I don't think you've seen a stylized bee anywhere in particular, but they're.
Well,
Okay.
You haven't seen
this
any
map
right
is
here,
useless.
Without something to compare it to, this map is useless. You can get that
Yeah.
from somewhere else, yeah.
And the rest of the book, is it in common?
The rest of the book, this is the book you found in the Death House.
No, it was in Wave Echo Cave.
And we've
Yeah.
It was after we defeated the Wraith. There was books on a shelf above the bed.
I
That's
can no
the one-
longer remember what was in the book, but I think there was very little on it.
Okay.
I've got two
I can hook up
two magical books of elven fairy tales.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'll read one of them to Pip tonight if you want.
Oh, me too, please.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea.
So, Dax taking the lead on this.
Yeah. And we'll wait here.
Yeah.
We should follow. We shouldn't get too far behind.
Yes.
Like
Well-
we don't have to be scared of every sound, friends. Like let's just move on. If we need some additional scouting, then we can do that, but we don't even know what it is yet.
I'm just nervous about getting surrounded again. Remember all
Exactly.
those
So let's
bucks?
go together.
Well, that's the complete opposite of what I just said.
You're worried about getting surrounded. Oh, all of us
Yeah,
getting surrounded. Well, you
if-
might get surrounded on your own and then die before we get to you.
Then I would rather that than having Pip die. Us getting surrounded.
Let her do
Well-
what she does best. Gallus, it would be a good thing. You are our fighter, but she's good and she enjoys her job of espionage.
Gallus digs the butt of his glaive into the ground and then like slumps down, like sitting down in front behind it. Right?
Okay, Dax.
Uh,
Okay, Dax. Here.
can
come on.
I,
Pip, come here.
before she goes, can I cast invisibility on her?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, shit, yes you can.
Fuck yeah!
Awesome.
Invisible me.
And
I just hold my arms out.
There's something disconcerting about
I
having
booped you on the
invisibility.
nose.
About you get booped on the nose, and as you look at the point, I think you're looking at Audric, you're making eye contact with him, and then he boops you in the nose, and you can't help but cross your eyes and look at your nose, and you just see it fade slightly, and you begin to look at your hands as they begin to fade, and there's something. Your breath catches in your throat. There's a moment where it's fearful to go invisible. Is a scary thing if you're not doing it all the time. You see your hands fade, but after a moment you realize the potential for this. And having seen your friend just do this to you with a simple boop of the nose, the fear is replaced by this joy as you turn to move into the mist. The rest of you see Dax fade away, and then you just see little swirls in the mist and
Mhm.
little footprints in the relatively dry dirt that quickly speed up as they disappear into the mist.
And I'll call Pip
Just
over
before
to
I
me.
would head out and I just became invisible and realized what was happening, I would be like, this is awesome! And then you can see like footprints kind of appearing in like one spot and just like, a bunch of footprints in that one spot of me like kind of tapping, being like, ah, this is awesome! And then I dash away. Stealthily dash away.
Yeah. So we see this like there's this like disappears into the mist, like silent death on feet, and then this is awesome. And then
She might be a
okay.
while.
Yeah, so then I'll slowly start making my way to the
You travel
whatever's making that sound.
for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Your excitement begins to drop away as you realize you're leaving your friends behind you. The Old Svalich Road transitions from being this winding path through these mountains to like a lazy, muddy trail that hugs the mountainsides as it descends into a fog-filled valley. You feel yourself going down. In the heart of the valley, you see a walled town near the shores of a great mountain lake. The town is in disrepair. It is little more than a couple of stone buildings. The road branches off again, and there's a large promontory, a large hill, atop which is perched a dilapidated stone windmill. The warped wooden vanes stripped bare, the fabric flapping gently in the wind, and you can hear now that this is the sound of the windmill slowly turning. Make me a history check, please.
Oh boy.
Dax.
8.
You feel like you recognize this. There's something about this, the outline of this building, and the outline in particular, that triggers a memory, and then it's gone in the mist.
Can I see any people
You can see nothing.
wandering around?
It does not look like the type of place that would be inhabited. The buildings round about it are just that. They're carcasses of buildings. It looks like both the small town, if you can even call it that, and the surrounds are long abandoned.
So you said that the windmill feels kind of familiar, right?
There's something about the silhouette of this building that just triggers in your mind.
I take out the ring that I got from the Durst Manor, and it has the crest on it.
As you look down at this ring and glance at the windmill, it does appear to have an almost identical outline, as not only to the ring, but the Durst crest and the deeds that you found in the house.
With a shiver, I start making my way back to the group.
I'm sorry. Cal's just ran and took a pee behind the bush. I'm sorry. I find these things funny. Me and Pip are laughing. Anyway. Well, because we're sitting there with nothing to do. I'm trying to keep Pip occupied because his bestest buddy's off somewhere. Maybe I'll pull out the book and try to read one of the magical fairy tales to him.
You tell him a tale of a little elven girl whose mother promises her if she doesn't stop picking her nose, that she will end up with the biggest nose in the world. And this is a new story to you, and as you read it to him, he's quite raptured in it. And long story short, as the story goes on, the girl wakes up and her nose is not deformed by it. She's not scarred, but eventually she begins to lose her fingers and her fingers begin to rot. The story turns from a pleasant fairy tale to quite a horrific story. There's a point where you begin ad-libbing the story and adding your own happy ever after. As this little girl her fingers begin to rot and she begins to gnaw at them. Her hunger for her nasal nasal delights begin to take over her. Yeah.
Okay. And I will stop reading and say, and then a good fairy came down and made her all better, and she learned her lesson. The end. And I'll shut the book.
Pip looks at you and nods. Right, okay. Fairy came down, saved the girl, and we're all going to Fandland soon. I got it. Thanks, Marielle. And he just
poor kid
hunkers down and wraps his arms around his knees, and just sits. And wait, so you can see him just staring at the direction that Dax went.
Oh.
I'll hug him.
I hope Dax is okay. Being invisible is scary.
She'll be fine.
Do you return to the group, Dax? What are you doing as you're now perched outside this building?
Seeing the similarity of the ring and the building with the windmill. With a shiver, I head back to the group. And when I get back, I tell Audric, don't drop this. Whatever I have on me, this is dope. And I want it to last as long as it'll last.
How long does it last, Audric?
An hour, as long as I'm concentrating.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Plenty of time to concentrate. It's maybe taken sort of 20 minutes for you to run there and back.
Cool.
You got another 40 minutes.
Cool.
I do double thumbs.
No one can see.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Guys, there's a town over there. The creaking's
Cool.
coming from a windmill. It's not cool. It's not cool at all. Remember Murder House?
Oh,
Nope.
There's a building and a windmill there. It matches the Durst crest exactly.
Gallus and Forgotten have no idea what you're talking about. You can see them.
and
I smile and nod.
I don't remember. I don't remember the name Durst. So
The kids
don't
would
remember
like the
names.
Durst. The kids would like the Durst children.
Oh,
Durst
Yeah.
oh,
Manor.
Yeah.
The Dursts.
I really, really don't want to go there. I really
okay.
don't.
Well, let's find a way around it.
But the town was on the edge of a lake.
To the town then.
Yeah, to the lake.
Yeah.
As we start walking, I'm going to be very petty, and whenever there's any sounds, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, guys, wait! Do you guys want to check that out?"
So just to give you a clear picture, Dax, as you what was described as the lake is little more than a little kind of pond. Maybe the lake was the wrong descriptor to give it. You could
A
see
mountain lake.
Yeah, you could see, well the she dipped down into a valley.
Okay.
So lake was maybe the wrong descriptor.
Okay.
Could it be described as a pool?
Definitely cool pond.
Pool.
An unwelcome bath.
Blessed by sun.
An unwelcome bath could be described as that also.
An unwelcome bath.
As Audrix sort of ruminates on this, there was no sunlight cast into this place. So the evening is drawing on now.
With Gallus, stopping at every noise and making fun of us. After the first couple times that he did that, and while my invisibility is still up, I would sneak up behind him and smack him in the back of the head.
That's what I was thinking. We might bump into each other.
What antics is? Yeah, Dax. Oh god, invisible Dax.
Just wait until she realizes she can booty shake to anyone and they'll not know.
Yeah. So as,
Oh,
she,
yeah,
as this sort of as this farce plays out, you can see Irina and Ismark becoming frustrated with it, and they're like, Irina turns to the party and says, "Please, Valak, it's getting dark, and Valaki is not too far from here. I believe, perhaps not tonight, but we can make it if we push on."
Okay.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Finally, someone talking sense.
You can see Dax is probably still invisible, but she's kind of just like mouthing whatever Gallus says.
I scowl at where I think Dax might be.
Perception check. Disadvantage.
Natural one.
Ah!
Natural one.
Yes.
So I'm gonna look at Gallus and
You
go,
scowl
"You've
at a
been
tree."
jumping."
just scowling in a random direction.
He's like scanning the horizon. He just stands still and then rotates, scowling.
And get
Words.
smacked upside the head from a random direction.
So,
Said that we're not too far and we might be able to make the place we need to go if we push on tonight?
Uh,
Is that what I heard?
you can see as she says that, and if you're asking her, she begins rubbing her hands, and as Mark says, I do not like traveling in the night. My sister is
I
under a
I
lot
don't
of
either.
pressure, you understand. And you can see again she's like begins like gritting her teeth, and like you can see her like clenching her fists, getting ready to hit his Mark. And
Let's all hit his mark.
and
Yeah.
you've got a real thing against his Mark. And he
We did it.
yeah, quite right, quite ready so.
He's cute with tired eyes.
And she and he says, "Please, sister, it is true. You do not want to travel through the night, not after what has happened the last few days. You know that it's not a safe place. I think we can reach it tomorrow. I ask that we do not travel much further. We can travel
Well,
most of the way there tonight and then set up camp, get some rest, and tomorrow we can reach Valaki. It is
okay.
better than Barovia. It is. They say it is a happy place. It is not a happy place, but it's certainly safer than Barovia.
This
So we're
Valkyrie
gonna
place, it's the one that I just saw. No, it's like a 10-minute walk. Get your shit together, Ismark.
I'm afraid, Dax, it is you who needs to get your shit together. And he like glances around because he has no idea where your voice is coming from. And he like points and then turns and points again, and this is very disconcerting.
After I speak, I always move, so whenever people are talking to where the voice is coming from, that's not where I am anymore.
Yeah,
Surely the invisibility's what now.
no, you've already been you've been sat in the road talking for a bit.
So
He says, Valaki is a large town. It has a gatehouse. You would not have got into the town. You would not have seen the interior simply by approaching. Even invisible, you would certainly not be back so quick, if at all. They are well defended, whatever that means in this place.
So we are heading there, but we're not going to make it tonight. So we need to find a place to stay. It would be nice if it was secure. Do we want to try to find a house in that town? In the town?
No, we're not making it to the town. We have to camp.
If you're talking,
Okay.
if you're speaking of the old windmill,
Yes.
there are many things said about that place.
Well, then let's not go there. Why don't we camp right where we are? If it's
Why don't you tell us some of those things?
It is said
Tell us.
it is haunted. It is said that there are creatures of the night who dwell there, whether they are attached to the Dark Lord or not. We do not know. There is a woman in Barovia who says she lives there.
What
It was-
woman?
Her name?
There's an old pie seller. She walks the streets. She sells pies. She is an
Okay.
old crone, possibly crazy, but it's a novelty in town. I question what she puts into them.
Ah,
They call the windmill
What?
the old bone grinder.
Right, and upon hearing that, Gallus is going to be right. We're not going to the bone grinder, so
No.
let's just take camp, and we'll reach Valaki tomorrow.
Let's not camp too near.
The bone
Something
grinder.
called
Yes,
the bone
agreed. Agreed.
grinder.
Yeah, agreed.
We still have.
Same page.
Let us not talk of camp yet. We still have a few hours of travel. We can push
Let's
on.
go past the windmill, and
The
then
bone grinder.
we
Yeah,
can-
yeah.
Yeah. Then we'll set up camp. Walk a couple of hours. Set up camp. Done.
yes.
But before I put up the tiny hut, forgotten, you've got to let me just,
Press
Just
to digitate you.
unfragrance you slightly. I've got guests.
It's a bit much in the bubble.
Are you mad?
It's so bad. And you know you've got dead crow on you. Like, what?
Feathers in your beard.
They are useful. A bath is no use to no one.
As he
Well,
says,
not a bath.
as he
It's not a
says this,
bath.
you can see like a little bird bone and a couple of feathers sticking out of his beard.
Oh God.
you
Not a
realize? Well, maybe you'll
Not a
understand
bath.
it this way. Forgotten.
I won't get rid of the dirt. I won't get rid of the twigs. I'll just remove the smell.
No, you crazy person.
You
Go
realize
back
that
to
you're
singing your songs
you're-
and being whatever it is you do. And I'm just gonna try and settle down onto the floor and create a bonfire right in front of me just to try and keep myself up a bit.
Um.
Because he's in Scotland and it's cold.
Do you still cast prestidigitation to get
Yeah, I
rid of the
try and
smell?
make him smell like roses. I'll still do it.
You
I'll
begin.
make him smell good.
You cast your spell and you realize that perhaps this is beyond your skill. Now you've got the sickly smell of a poorly bleached bathroom, public bathroom. You've now got the aroma of
Cherry
roses.
air fresher.
Yeah,
Air
yeah. There's
freshener.
the aroma of roses mixed with this other tainted aroma that in the combination by the laws of the universe smells worse somehow. And there's a little bit of pine in there somewhere.
Pie?
You did your best.
That is beyond your skill, Roderick, I'm afraid.
Are you happy now? You trying to make me sick? I'm gonna walk over
No,
to
I'm
the
not
pool,
happy.
pick up some of the mushroom around the edge, splat a bit of it on me, and then launch a load at Audric
It's
Oh,
and
like
Drake.
go back
it's
to the
like a
fire.
it's I I dodge out the way.
Haha, dexterity save. Audric, also, I need you to make
Yep.
me a dex save and
Roll to hit.
14.
Concentration.
Yeah, you managed to dodge it. You're fine. I also need Audric to make me a perception check, please, before we move
A passive or straight.
on. Straight, but it can't be lower than your passive. In this circumstance.
Nice.
Audric sees all.
And all this this hoo-ha that's going on as the situation settles and you go away and sit down, you realize that this is the first time that this should have worked. Whatever odor's coming off him, whatever it is your spell should have worked. You should have been able to not make him spell better necessarily, but it should have at least covered it. You know this, and as you travel on, you becoming more aware of the power of the skills that you have and taking them more seriously, and that whatever stench, whatever aversive stench that hangs around him, it seems to be counteracting your spells.
Jeez, has
Can
this
I
gotten
cast-
worse?
Can I use prestidigitation and just like cast like something in my hand, like a rose or something in my hand?
Yeah.
And that works.
That works, yeah. It smells as you meant it to, and perhaps you do it again, and it smells twice the strength, and again, and it smells 5 times the strength. It's you can almost burn your nostrils with the smells that you can make.
It just doesn't work on Forgotten.
It does work. You're able to surround him and cover them in the smells, but there's something that permeates that his scent,
It doesn't remove
his
this-
dirt, in the same way that you wash him, and it seems to leave him still unwashed to a certain extent.
Has this been getting worse since he got the sword?
Make me a insight check. I'm gonna say Audric because only Audric's noticed this at this point.
Okay.
Mhm.
No.
It hasn't, and while Marielle while Helen's mentioned the sword thing, perhaps Audric hasn't thought of it, but you can't think why this has come about. But I will say that historically, that this is something you've done this before, and he's never quite been pristine. He's never quite been as polished. With the skill level that you're at, you should be able to make him look like a noble with a click of your fingers, and it doesn't quite work. He always looks scruffy. He always looks unappealing and unattractive. He always looks undesirable.
Maybe that's his name.
Lighting a torch on it now. And as you
Do we
move
have
on,
to have? Do we have to have him in my hut? He's gonna ruin it. There's gonna be like.
So
be like.
you can cast over here with us.
Hut.
There's too many people to cover everybody. We have too many people in our party, so just cast it over here, so it's not on top of him.
Light some incense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Forgotten, you poke about your bonfire for a bit, pull out the last year raven, and after a few, perhaps moments, minutes, hours, perhaps, of staring into your bonfire and chewing the last of the meat off his bones, you glance over and notice that your party is missing, and begin to suspect that they've went to ground without you. They've set up their little tiny hut.
See inside the tiny hut?
No,
No.
if he's not inside the tiny hut when I cast it, he can't get in it.
So you just glance around and see that they're gone, and understand that the party is a set camp without you.
I wouldn't have cast it without him in it.
So you wouldn't have done that then?
I wouldn't have cast the tiny hut without him being in it. So at the moment, I'm trying to clean him up, so then I can cast it.
That's not working.
No, so I haven't cast it yet.
So
flies.
The night passes off.
And on my watch
has the restless night's sleep, and puts up with the scent of the forgotten. I'm on your watch.
Pine and rosy scented.
I need to cast Identify. I'm sorry, Find Familiar.
Okay, do that. You summon your little your weasel.
Yep, Sir Nuts a lot. Worthy.
Milady, so Nutsworth, you're on beck and call, my lady. What can I do for you this evening?
I
oh my,
just
this is
wanted
quite the place.
Yes, I just wanted a warm body. I don't need you for anything right now, but I want you here with me. I've missed you.
Food? A warm body? Oh, I'll get some good food.
His little stern sort of face drops, and I've missed you too, my lady. I will be happily to give you what warmth I have. And he goes in and curls into you and circles around 5, 6, 7 times, and then just hunkles down like a little furry donut. Just snuggles into you.
Furry donut.
Cool.
Good night, my lady.
Good night.
Just before hunkering down, and once the invisibility has worn off, I would pull out the Durst ring. Ismark, Irina, do you guys recognize this crest?
They look at it. They take the ring from you, and then they look at each other for a moment, and then he almost once he's examined it, he like he's touching a dirty rag, passes it back to you. Yes, the Dursts, they were They were once a prominent family in Barovia. You will have seen their house as you pass through the town, no doubt. They were quite wealthy before, well, it is said before he came. There
What?
is rumors and legends about them, about the things they did, the organizations they set up to try and reinstate their wealth, their position in Barovia. It is said that they came to a dark end. They were shunned by the Lord.
What happened to them?
It is not known. Much of it is all long before my time. It is said that they began a cult to worship him. They began making sacrifices in their cellar, some said, to try and gain his favor. It is said that he threw them aside, and their cult, their followers, lost faith in them. The house, no one goes near it now. Surely you must have seen it when you were in the village.
We are very, very familiar with this house.
You visited the Durst Manor when you were in the village.
No. You know this murder house we keep talking about?
I have
The
heard
time
you
when
speak of
when
this.
Audric said he met Strahd?
I've heard
We were
of this. I
brought...
thought this was a story of a bard. Forgive me, Audric, but I thought this was one of your tales.
No. It's all true.
So you've been to
Every...
Barovia before. I thought you had said you had never been to the village or the region.
It was just the house. It was only the house. It was solitary. It was covered in mist.
But the houses,
It was terrifying.
the houses in Barovia, it is attached to all our houses in the village. You could reach out your window and touch another house.
I can't explain it. That's just what it was when we were there. I don't know what kind of magics it was. But we were at that house, and it killed most of us.
Do you remember leaving the house?
Leaving the house, I remember falling, and then it was black.
Irina and Ismark look at each other and seem to consider something for a moment before looking back at Dax. Silently. The house is cursed. People do not go into the house. It has been burnt. It has been destroyed. Yet it is always there. I have not seen it myself, but some say if you burn the house, it reconstructs itself. Visibly,
Sounds about right.
the ashes rise up and turn to walls. The walls turn to ceilings. The ceilings turn to windows and doors.
I'm scared of this town.
A sad story. It is said that they have children.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rose and Thorn.
And they both immediately lock eyes again and then look back at you. And there's an assessment being made by both of them as they stare at Dax. That is the name of the children.
Yeah.
Roosevelt and Thornbolt. Some of the parents here tell stories of them. They tell that if you do not be careful, you will end up like Roosevelt and Thornbolt.
Yeah. We found their corpses in the house. After talking to their ghosts. It was really fun.
And they glance at each other again. And Irina opens her mouth and raises her hand to say something, and as Mark says, I think it is better that we get to Vallaki. We have further to go. Vallaki is the safest town within reach, but our journey does not end there. And perhaps we should rest tonight. Tomorrow we will make Vallaki, and we will have some respite, a bit of breathing room, if there is such a thing. It is Vallaki is nowhere is safe here, but they have a chapel they say is protected from the Dark Lord.
Oh, would they have a
I
convent?
stare at Audric.
No convents! Absolutely not.
Not sure if they have a convent. I
Audric.
would not trust such a thing now.
Irina,
Such
Irina.
organized religion in Barovia, such organized religion has a habit of turning dark.
Irina, Sister Magdalena here would like to put you in a convent. How do you feel about that?
Irina like looks at Audric and says, I'm sorry? Who is Sister Magdalena?
The large one here. Funny girl.
I kind of just
Crosses
like.
the back. I'm afraid that convent is a word I understand. It is where they send crazy women, no?
I cross my arms and I stare at Dax. Yeah, Dax. You're saying she's crazy?
You wish to excuse me. And you see her like straightening her back and saying, she says, I do not need you to wish to put me anywhere. I ask that if you are traveling, that we can come with you. I appreciate your sort of begrudgingly says, guarding myself and my brother. But I have spent most of my life under lock and key. No need to be locked away anywhere else. I thought you, as a woman, would understand this. But Dax, I did not expect this from you.
Yeah, Dax.
I'm not saying
Jesus.
that. Oh my god, you guys are putting words in my mouth. I'm not saying that she has to be under lock and key by any means. We're saying that she needs to be protected somewhere, right?
I do not need to be protected.
I look at Irina and say, I think that Irina can probably protect herself, Dax.
Dax rolls her eyes so hard they almost get lost in the back of her head.
I think Irina might need to stop men putting words in her mouth, Dax. What do you think, Irina?
Oh, you're a man! Maybe you should stop speaking for her. Or no, you're not a man, you're just a boy.
Excuse
Irina, as that happens,
excuse
Irina
you.
stands up and says, I think I have had enough of you children. Perhaps I will sleep outside tonight.
And I
There does not need,
laugh.
I do not need anyone to tell me what to do. I can look after myself. Here was me thinking that I was cursing you with having me in your party. Taking me with you would put you at risk. And meanwhile you're arguing, fighting over who gets to lock me up or take care of me. I do not need you to take care of me. I begrudge Ismar, but he has seen what our family has been through. He has seen the creatures that brought my father's heart to a stop. So I forgive him.
So,
heroes. What a noble cause to go home. Not that you will ever go home. But you imagine you will. And then what, you tell people how you saved the little girl from Barovia? Please. You're as close to death as all of us. And she like ducks down and goes under the entrance to the hut and stomps off. And as Mark goes to stomp off after her, and for the first time you see him, he just slumps down and sits down again on the dirt. and glances out through the walls of the hut and watches her as she goes and sits beside Forgotten's bonfire, the last tapering embers of it. She is stubborn.
What's her fucking end game then? Like, what are we doing here?
What is your
We're trying to
end game?
find guidance. We're trying to find protection. What the fuck do you guys want? Like, I just want to get home.
And
I'm tired of having this confrontation.
As Mark
Fuck.
says, we are glad and I'm grateful that you are helping us. Her end game is the same as yours. Survival. That is all you can hope for now.
Well, Mark, I'll be honest. We're in a protective dome right now, which she just stepped out of. So survival does not seem to be a high priority for her.
Well, I will be honest now. Gallus, my friend, and he puts his hand on your shoulder and says, in my heart, I do not believe that she can be protected. Neither this dome nor any other talents that we have can protect her. She steps out because she is defiant. She is angry. She believes that I believe that whether she will admit it or not, she is lost. So she would rather fight. My father spent his life telling her that she cannot survive, that she must stay locked away, and she has decided that she would rather die on her feet than spend her life on her knees.
I
And
understand that.
now that my father is gone, I am inclined to agree with her. She may not be my blood, but she is my sister. And I think I will die with her. But not before I try to take my father's lead and do all that I can to. Perhaps it is a lost cause, but I will not go running into the fire.
That's good.
Not a lost
Suicidal.
cause if we're smart, but if we're doing stupid things like running away from people that want to help, then you're probably right, and it is.
She does not trust you. I am not sure I trust you.
Really, at this point, I mean that's
I would like to call
honestly
you.
rude.
It's pretty rude.
I would call
I
you.
rub the
Excuse
scar
me.
on my neck and
He-
go, "You don't know the half of it." It's
He
so rude.
he glances around the group. Now you can see under pressure, but the last few days he's become stronger. He seems to be almost, and perhaps Marielle and Gallus would recognize this, more filling shoes that have been left empty. You can see him bolstering himself for this.
Mm.
I would consider you friends. And looks at Gallus. I would consider you a friend. But this place has a way of changing things. There are tricksters who will take what you have and offer you more, and you will be left with nothing. We have only been traveling together for a few days, my friends. Why would I trust you? I'm sorry.
We just stood side by side and fought this devil that you've been afraid of your entire life.
The devil fought side by side with the people of Barovia to save them
Sure.
from a common enemy, and now he rules them like they are dogs.
We've never asked anything of you. We fought and we risked our lives fighting him with you, standing next to you. To say that you don't trust us at this point, I'll just kind of shut up and just I'm out of this conversation now.
How can you call us friends and not trust us?
Persuasion check with +2 for Dax's input. His mouth flaps.
Oh, my bad. It's the same. No, persuasion is plus another 3, so that's 23.
His chin flaps open as though he's about to protest, and It deflates. I do not wish you to think me ungrateful. I do trust you. It is this place. I want to believe that you can help us, but my sister in this land is the people will not speak to her. When we go to Valaki, we will not call her by her name because they know who she is. They know the Dark Lord wants her. She's the biggest target in his eyes. But next down that line, to the people of this region, it is you. You are the heroes, the new adventurers, the next in line, the next challengers, the next to join the procession.
We just want to get home.
And I do not begrudge that to you. But I do envy you that this is my home. I was made here. I can never leave. But I do not believe that you can leave either. Perhaps there is a chance.
Mark, when we first met, I said that I didn't tell you that I would help. I told you that I'd try my best. That's all I can offer you. I've never asked anything of you, so at least put some faith in us. Otherwise, this is just a pointless endeavor.
And he reaches out and puts his hand on your knee. I do. I want to. And I will, but she is my sister. I have a duty. I do not want to end up like one of the husks in Barovia. I do not want to end up going through the motions every day. This is what my father left me, and it's not a good legacy, but if something happens to her, then I have no legacy at all. What is my purpose if not to protect her?
Okay, enough. Marielle stands up and might even use a little intimidation. She says, I've been listening to you all talking. Dax, shame on you. What's her name over there is now part of our group, and you don't talk about shaking her off, especially to her, and make her feel
I'm
terrible.
trying to get her help.
Enough. Shh, I've listened to you. Listen to me. You're trying to get her help, but you're also antagonizing. This place makes us fight each other. I've noticed we're all antsy and we're all saying stupid things. Now, that's enough. We are together and we're going to help each other as long as we can and protect each other as long as we can. We don't have to talk about getting rid of people, etc. Now be nice and go to sleep.
Dax
And
just gets up, walks out of the bubble to start watch. Looking around, do I see Irina?
Yeah, the bonfire, I would imagine, is pretty close.
It doesn't take long to go out here.
Say again?
Sorry?
It doesn't take long to go out on its own anyway.
Yeah, it's a pile of embers now. Just whatever magic is faded, but the ground, the undergrowth below it is just a smoldering pile of embers.
I put on my goggles of the night.
As you step out, you look ridiculous. Did I not describe that your goggles of the night look exactly like Elton John's goggles of the night?
Perfect. That's amazing.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, as you step out, she's like beginning to like through like branches and twigs, just like snapping them and throwing them out. And as soon as you step out, She like raises her hand and says, "Please, Dax, I do not need your apologies. I do not want you to come and speak to me. Leave me alone." Totally misjudging
Awesome.
the situation, and her, you can see she's like emotional, grinding her teeth.
Wasn't gonna apologize, and I just sit down and begin my watch.
And she like turns like aghast and opens her mouth and like, "Oh, strange people." And begins like snapping branches with more vigor and throwing them onto the pile as the fire begins to burn up.
Mary,
Yeah.
you've got a way with words. Do you think you can
Sometimes.
go and convince Irina to come back into the bubble where it's slightly safer?
I really doubt it. She's been highly insulted, and I don't blame her for not wanting to be part of this family. I'm wondering whether I should be myself.
Oh,
Okay.
oh shit.
Can you,
Yeah.
Mariel? Can you make me before I forget? Can you make me an intimidation check for that speech you made? And you
Ugh, no wonder.
but carry on with your
No,
role play.
no wonder it didn't work with Dax, huh?
Forgotten. What are you doing?
Me, I'm just sitting around watching this backwards and forwards and just pondering
Watch,
my life. Sorry.
watch, watching the show.
Trying to get this ungodly smell off me. Pine
Rolling
needles,
around in the
roses.
leaves.
Okay. You can see your 6 intimidation. You can see its mark is more yeah, rather than rolling against PCs. Esmark's not intimidated by it, but you can see he has there's a certain respect in his eyes. There's a certain amount of understanding. You've given him a perspective rather than a
What, that
company.
we're assholes?
No, you've given him a perspective, Irina's perspective, perhaps that he didn't. You can see him like he looks at you and
Oh,
bites his
okay.
lip and sort of like you can see him like nodding to himself, but not intimidated by you.
Yeah,
He's not falling into line. You can see him.
right.
He has more to say, but he's not saying it because you can see him perhaps things from a woman's perspective or a different perspective certainly.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps I should go to sleep. Wake me up when it is my turn to go to watch. I would go to speak to her, but it will make her more angry, and if anyone wishes to speak to her, the trick I have is do not ask her to do something.
Yes.
Make it her suggestion. I feel like I betray her, but as my good friend here says, and he again sort of pats Gallus in the knee as they share a log. We are friends, but she is a good woman. But she is scared. She is
Yes.
hard scared. I am scared. But I am
We're
not being
all
hunted.
scared. Yes.
If you wish her to do something, you need to make it sound like it is her idea. I'll make her feel that anyway. Good night, my friends.
Good
And
night.
he just like literally lies down on the floor in front of you, and within moments you can see his eyes staring into the fire with 1,000 ideas rushing by, and he falls.
Yeah, I lay down and try very hard to go to sleep.
The night passes off uneventfully.
Good.
and you awake the next morning to an awkward feeling in camp.
Mm-hmm.
The heavy mist holds more than just the damp and the cold. There's a silence in camp, an unspoken issue not resolved, or a problem that is no one can quite put their finger on. Things that need to be said, but no one knows how to say them, unless someone wishes to. And as we break camp, Roderick steps out of his hut, and there's this little dome of dew that is built up that quite
It
silently
falls.
splashes to the ground.
Does
Irene
it wash?
is ready
Does
to
it wash
go.
Forgotten a little bit?
No, but
Yeah.
if it's any consolation, Roderick has made, or you've made Forgotten slightly damp, and Irene is ready to go. As the rest of you are breaking camp, you can see she stands impatiently with her travel sack on her back and ready to go. And Ismark, you can see he walks up and good morning, sister. And she just like nods sternly to him, and he just stands beside her, and they like wait for the rest of you to break camp and move on.
Yeah. So I'll get my things ready, and I'll go stand with both of them as well.
Yep.
And I'll say to Irina, so when you are free, what have you thought about doing? Like how would you kind of keep yourself like going? Like, is there any job that you're interested in, or what would you do?
As you start saying this to her, you can see like all her eyes almost roll, and you can see like, I don't want to have this conversation again. And she opens her mouth to say something, and then as you sort of finish your sentence, you can see her mind take over, and she looks to the ground. I do not know.
You like cooking?
I am a terrible cook. And she like uh, 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 and then like laughs slightly. I am a terrible cook, Alice. My father was a terrible cook.
What did you kind of do in your spare time? Like what did you do around the house?
I would paint pictures sometimes. Not very
And
well.
Oh,
My father
not
tried to.
very well as well.
Not. My father tried to teach me to play an instrument, a flute. Was not very good at that.
Hmm. I mean,
There's little to do for a girl trapped in a house.
It will be the claws.
I would like to study the stars. I watch them often from my window, and I would like to understand what worlds they contain. To travel to those
so
worlds,
many.
perhaps.
You wouldn't believe it. I mean, you know that we come from another world, I guess.
I suspect that you are from somewhere that is not here. Travelers have come before. My father says there are different places.
Did you ever listen to their stories about their homes?
Was not allowed to meet the other travelers. I hear stories. My father says there are great lands beyond the lands of Barovia, beyond the mists. There are wonders we have never seen, deserts with great pyramids. There are lands, islands that float in the sky.
Have you ever seen someone like me?
I have heard stories of dragon men.
What about dragons?
My father says they are all greedy and evil.
Not
Not,
all of them. Not all of
not
them.
all of them.
And she smiles and says, I think I understand. I am not, I mean you no offense, Callus.
No, none taken. But we
Can you
should start
fly,
thinking.
dragon man?
Ha, do I have wings? Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Perhaps one day.
Not
Perhaps one
before
day
me.
we will all have wings and we will all fly. But for today,
We walk.
we walk.
Let's go.
as we're walking, I'm gonna be like pinging off ideas for what she could do. Like, I'll be like, what about, like, maybe being a farmer, like, just random ideas, seeing which ones stick, like which one piques her interest.
I'll talk about
Make me
herbalism.
So, yeah, I'm gonna let you choose. So you can see that, like, this, she's quite enamored by this. You can see that after an exhaustive night, she's had a lot of time to think about things. But you can see that it's it begins to wear on her quickly, and you're gonna need to win her over. So, what skill would you like to use to to draw her into the conversation? You're a charismatic man to pull her back and not make,
Persuasion.
if you'd like, yeah, to make her see the sense of this the endeavor here. Okay. Okay, 12's a nice threshold. 12's a nice threshold in rolls. So yeah, you can see that she's coming round to your way of thinking, but rather I would imagine Gal's doing it more than just
I'm just
walking
kind of
beside
trying
her
to get her
going,
mind off
farmer,
things.
painter.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get her mind off things, like,
Yeah.
because obviously she's stressed, so I'm just like,
You can see that after a while of walking, you can see her getting frustrated, and then she puts her hand on her shoulder, and perhaps you step away from the rest of the party for a part, or you fall behind or lead ahead, and she puts her hand on your shoulder and says, Gallus, I appreciate what you're trying to do, and it is fun. I like to think about what I will be one day, but looking further into the light sometimes makes the darkness worse. I would
sure,
like to hear
but
your stories. Tell me what you have done. How did you
I'll
come to be roaming the lands? Well, perhaps not how you came to be in the lands of Barovia. I know not. The Dax does not like that question. But how did a dragon man come to be wearing shiny armor? Surely your scales protect you. And she goes on to like try and turn it on you and try and ask you questions about, oh, you, so one as handsome as you must have had many dragon ladies chasing them, no? And sort of tries
well,
to flip the conversation on you.
yeah, I'm all for it. I'll be like wholeheartedly into it. Like, I'm happy to, like, again, I'm just trying to get her mind off things. So I'll talk about myself until she's like comfortable again, and then, like, yeah, just it's just normal conversation. But I'll be like, yeah, I'm a little bit like you, I suppose. I'm high blood, so from birth, I had a duty. I was made. Like, I knew I was into the military life. I became a knight. They saw that my my view on things was righteous, and an order of paladins took me in. Um, and I serve my god. Uh, and I just try to do what's right in this world, make this world a better place.
Okay, so
And
I'll let you, as you're walking along the road, I'll let you place this. Are you saying this, not necessarily being discreet about it, but are you saying this, are you within earshot? You can sort of narrate the fiction here. Are you far enough ahead or far enough back that the rest of the party can hear this? Or are you...
yeah, they can hear. Yeah, I'm not like I guess I'm not being discreet about it. If someone's like trying to listen, depending on how far back they are, if they want to, like, I wouldn't be trying to hide it.
Mary has been uncharacteristically quiet, but she will join in the conversation with Gallus and what's her name?
Irina.
Thank you.
I keep on wanting to call it
Ita?
I keep on wanting to call it Yzma out of Emperor's New Groove, because she always seems to run away, you know.
So Marielle, you join the conversation.
Yeah, well, yeah. When he's talking about things to do, I say, Well, there's leatherworking, so you don't have to just think of cooking and cleaning. There's leatherworking, and there's alchemy, and there's herbalism, and
There are many
And
wonders
it's
of the
time
world.
to move on.
well, we're walking. We're on our
Yeah, this
way.
is
You're still
We're
moving.
not. Yeah.
There are many wonders of the world, I suspect,
Well,
Marielle, beyond cooking and cleaning. I have spent a lifetime doing those things. I do not wish to
it's
do
time
them
to do
anymore.
other. I understand. I never
And
liked it
none
myself.
quite as freeing as roaming free. And with that, I'll change the dial and run her off.
Say again?
And with that, I'll change into the direwolf and run off in front.
Okay.
Yep.
Arena like turns and says, "I will never get used to that." that friend of yours, he scares me. There are people. It is said there are people here that can do such things, turn into other creatures, or perhaps as creatures turning into other men.
Yeah.
He's a strange one.
I don't think he's quite like some of the things you might have heard of around here. He is man first, but he's forgotten his heritage. So
I believe that.
yeah.
When I look at him, my father, he feared for me. He said that I have a talent, that I can see people's hearts
Oh,
when I look at them. And I cannot see that man's heart, but I think I can feel it. I do not think he is like the other, like the wolfman my father warns me about.
no.
There is something about him. He's
Yes.
strange, perhaps dangerous, but I do not think he is. I do not think he is a bad man.
No.
I do not know what it is.
We don't
Perhaps,
either.
perhaps like our friend Gallus here, as you're walking on, and you can see
Mhm.
now she is starting to open up. Your efforts are working, and Ismark is you as you glance back, you can see Ismark uncomfortably sort of walking at the end of the party, always watching the sides of the road, always tense.
Good, because I'm not.
And she, I think I see the same in Gallus. I think he is a good man. And she's saying this in front of Gallus as you're walking along.
Mm-hmm.
I've been taught not to trust anyone, but I think as Marcus, forgive him. He is a good man. He's such a frustrating man. Like all men.
Oh,
Aren't
men
we all?
are, dear.
Do I sense or smell anything from further on the path?
Make me a perception check with advantage for your for your keen sense. You smell the sense of cooking. You smell the sense of many people. You smell the sense of wood that has been freshly cut. You smell the scent of stews boiling in pots, of meats freshly cut. You smell the scent of fur. You smell the scent of ravens heavily in the air. You smell the scent of wolf blood, as though freshly cut wolf meat. And as you charge off ahead, you begin to see a heavy, 15-foot palisade moving from the mist. You're maybe now 100 meters ahead of the group, and a set of heavy iron gates. The palisade leads off into the left and right into the woods that encroach on each side of the path as you pass through.
Yeah, I'm gonna stalk around the palisade, trying to be stealthy and see what I can see.
Make me a stealth check. We're coming on to evening now. The sun is a few hours from going down. As you stalk off into the woods, you can see this heavy palisade. You can see occasionally you see men walking around it. Men in sort of heavy leather armor, iron helmets, each of them wielding a pike. That are walking along the edge of this, and they peer out nervously into the woods before continuing on their routine. Every now and again, one of them meets on the path and says a few words before passing on, but always focusing on the edge of the woods as the sun fades. As the rest of the party, you begin to approach and see the same thing. These tall palisade walls with this heavy iron gates.
Okay.
Can I see anything like insignia on them? You know, are the gates open? The gates shut? Are they paying attention to the
only
woods?
your keen eyesight, the distance that you know you need to keep to be safe, you can see the gates are shut, and I'll say what the rest of the party sees, and this will maybe give you a better footing from where you are. So as the old road meanders into this valley, the woods on each side, uh, uh, meanders into the valley, watched over by dark, brooding mountains to the north and to the south. The wood eventually recedes, revealing a sullen mountain burg, a town surrounded by this tall wooden palisade. The fog almost presses up against the wall and roils and curls against it, as though looking for a way inside, hoping to catch this town slumbering. You can see it, and after traveling through this fog for so long, it's hard not to see it as a physical thing. You've seen it passing, rolling up against the layman's tiny hut, and then pressing on through. The dirt road ends at the set of sturdy iron gates with a pair of shadowy figures standing behind them. Planted in the ground and flanking the road outside the gates are half a dozen pikes with wolves' heads impaled on them. And as you circle the town or begin to move around the outside of the town, forgotten, you see these pikes are planted even in the woods. These large wooden stakes with these gargantuan wolf heads stuck on them. Some of them normal size, some of them the size of the wolf that you currently are in the form of. Every sort of
Do we
15,
see the
20 feet.
Do we see the pikes yet?
Yeah, that's what you guys see as you approach the
Okay.
gates. You can see two forms that are on the other side of the gate, and then another two on the palisade.
As soon as I see the wolf heads, I start yelling, "Forgotten! Forgotten!
Here, boy!
Man!
Come here, Forgotten! Come on!
No. Come on!
Wait!
Come on.
Who
Man.
who goes there? And one of the figures from beyond the fence begins healing the party.
It's just us, a bunch of travelers looking for a place for the night.
Identify yourselves. Step into the light. We cannot see you
And I
through the
do.
mist.
I do.
I
Say
approach as
hi.
well.
I'm
And-
Mary. How
and
are you?
They begin squinting. You can see they've got these again. They've got these heavy pikes, swords hung at their side, but these heavy pikes that they almost immediately begin like putting through the bars. What brings you here, travelers? It is getting late.
We need a place to stay.
Where have you come from?
From the village of Barovia.
And the village of, and they stop whenever they see you and Gallus, and Irina steps in beside you and puts her hand on your shoulder, Gallus, and says, "Perhaps I can see your heart, Gallus, but these people, they are not used to strangers. We get the occasional elf, but as you've seen, most of us are, as I am, human."
I will step backwards.
I would be
Yeah, and I'm
careful.
careful.
They are a nervous, superstitious people. But don't worry, I will protect you. And she leans in and gives you a kiss in the cheek, and then
Ooh.
strides confidently
Aw.
forward as she approaches the gates. And says,
I
I am Irina Kolyana. I am the daughter of the Burgomaster of Barovia. We wish entry and safe travel. And they stop and like the guards stop and like look at each other. And then Ismark steps up. I am Ismark Kolyan. I am the son of the Burgomaster, the late Burgomaster of Barovia. We wish entry and safety. And the guards like look at each other for a moment. And what of your friends? Step forward, all of you. And who are you calling to in the woods?
We have a druid. Do you know what they are?
Hey.
He was out scouting around. He likes playing in the woods. I wanted to make sure he came in with us.
And they look at each other confused. It's not safe to play in the woods around here.
I know that, but try telling him that. He's a man. He doesn't understand. That's okay, honey. He'll be here in a minute.
And
Ask-
one of the
ask
other
the
guards
questions.
steps forward, and you can see now that she's female. A man, you say? It is reassuring because many of you do not look like men, or at least not.
Should I say male?
Do not look like us. What sort of creature are you? You in
I'm a half.
Not
I'm
you.
a half elf.
You in the armor. And
Greetings. I'm Gallus. I'm a dragonborn.
A dragonborn.
Yes.
I've heard of such creatures. Do you breathe fire, dragonborn?
I breathe poison.
That is not reassuring.
Well, I've never used it personally. I feel like it's useless.
And what is the giant? And there's her nods her head toward Dax. And you can see they're very like nervous, confident, but confident in their roles on the other side of this heavy iron gate, but nervous. You bring a giant with you.
She's just
whatever.
That's her name.
Whatever I am. Sorry, go ahead.
Her name is Giant.
No, I'm not talking for you.
Whatever I am means nothing to you. It doesn't matter.
Ah, and they like look at each other. I'm afraid if you come to the Morning Gate, it means a lot to us. Especially if you seek refuge for the evening, and it is getting dark. If you have traveled this far from Barovia, you will know that the roads are not safe.
Oh no.
I will ask you again, Giant. What creature are you? What do you call yourself?
I call myself Dax.
And then like confer for a moment. Well, we've never seen a Dax before, nor a Dragonborn. You must be some sort of holy woman, no?
You talking to me?
I am holy woman.
Ah, you're a nice boy. Yes, that's what I am.
So, thank you. I am a nice boy. My mom says that.
Yes, I thought so.
The Father Lucian says we should let. He says we should let people like you by if one comes in, but when I'm afraid we need more information if we'd let you in because
Is
we're
this
not.
the Morning Gate?
This is the Morning Gate, yes.
Ah, okay. And we got a point for us to start. What else do you need?
Well, we need to know. We need to see your friend that's playing in the woods for a start.
And
I
I'll
take
yell
out my
again.
copper mustache
Mm-hmm.
and I point to the direction that I think Forgotten's in. Forgotten, if you can hear this, you need to come back now, please. You can reply to this message.
Forgotten, you're stalking through the woods, like prowling through the undergrowth, looking at all this grisly scene of all these wolf
Dead
heads,
wolves,
just
yeah.
staying outside the range of what you know to be there, what these humans can see into the undergrowth, and you hear this voice in your head.
Yeah, I'm gonna start to turn back. I'm actually gonna stalk up as close as I can up to the guards that are outside that have stopped the rest of the party.
They are not outside. They're inside the gate.
They're inside the gate.
Yeah, they're
We're
inside.
outside.
They're on the other side of the gate. These heavy gates that are shut. You can see there's a heavy chain across the gate, and there's but there's no lock on it. It's just currently like hanging down the inside. And you can see as this happens, the guards are like conferring with each other.
While I was going round through the woods, seeing all the wolf on spikes, is going to be like a particular area for it, or was it just everywhere?
Say that again, because you're breaking up a wee bit for me.
Was there a particular area where all these wolves' heads were, or was it just everywhere, scattered through the woods?
No, it wasn't through the woods. It was lining the set. It was lining the palisade. Like every now and again, sometimes 15, sometimes 20, sometimes 30 feet, there would be a pike with a wolf's head on it. Various stages of rot throughout them. Some of them looked as fresh as yesterday. Some of them looked like they'd been there for months and were little more than skulls with fur. But what would strike you is that they're large. Some of them look like a domestic wolf's head, like a hunter would use. Some of them as big as your own, which is huge. Which is as broad. Your head now is as broad as Dax's chest, as you would know.
Yeah.
When the guard says we need to see your friend, I'm going to scream. And I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to kill your ears. Forgotten? Get your ass in here, man.
And the guards like stumble back for a bit, and then like the woman like
Yes.
the woman like laughs and nudges the man, and he like starts again, and
Yeah.
you can see them saying something. The woman's like pointing in your direction and like nodding her head and rolling her eyes, kind of thing.
Yeah. And I'll nod back and stand there with my eyes closed and my teeth gritted. I'm going in without you. Well, that's it. Can I go in, please? Can we take these two with us? And I point to what's her name and what's his face? Bismarck and Ishmael.
I'm gonna swap my wild form for the big bear. Come out of the woods at a slow pace, go right up to Mary. I'll go up to my full height and roar in her face, and then just
Don't you understand what man means?
and just snap out of it and come back to my normal form and go, I'm not one to be shouted at, woman.
Oh, I don't fucking
Walking.
care. Stay
as
out.
as you do that, they back off as the bear comes out, and the guard says, "Run, run, milady!" And
Open up, please. I'll run inside.
We'll call the guards. Run, milady! Stay away.
Yes,
Make yourself big. Don't listen to what they say about dropping on the ground. They'll eat you that way. And then as soon as he turns back into wild form, as soon as he turns back into his human form, the guards look at each other and immediately start ringing a bell. Ga-dung, 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 ga-dung. And you can see like guards begin to like run along the palisade wall towards this direction. You can see like in the distance they begin to gather the palisade wall.
And
there's within moments there's like 5 or 6 men with their pikes through the bars.
Yeah. If you could see me now, that's how I'm that's how I'm sitting with putting my face palming or on my forehead, just going, Jesus fucking Christ, this stupid ass. I want to sleep on a bed. I'm grouchy. I haven't been sleeping good. Let me in. Keep these guys out, please. I'll say, well, Lena and you've been all right. And Gallus, I guess.
And the guard, the man that's been speaking says, what sort of creature is he? We've seen
He's a druid.
Men. We've seen wolves that turn into men. We've never seen bear men before.
He's a druid.
He's not welcome in this town.
Yep, I got that. I knew that.
I will need to speak to Father Lucian.
Okay.
But he's
I can hear you.
and I can hear you, Bearman. You're not welcome here. Go back to your Dark Lord. Leave us alone. There are enough men in this town to skin you, to take you alive.
And I laugh.
You
Skin
can
him.
you can join the you can join the line of pikes if you so wish. We've been attacked every night since I was a boy. We've always fought your kind back.
Every night you guys got attacked.
Well, every
Trying
night
to
we
divert
catch
your
one of them
attention.
monsters. We've never seen one like that before. Not
That's
a bear.
because he's not a monster. I'm
A
even
man
going
that can
to.
turn into a bear? An animal
Yes,
man? You say he's not a
he,
monster?
correct. He studies the forest and he has been given those powers. As far as I'm concerned, it's by the god of the forest. But then again, I think everything's because of gods.
You,
So, being who I am.
you speak
But
of
he,
you speak of gods. No god would do that to the man. I want to let you make a persuasion check here, Mariel, but they are not having it.
yeah. Well, my
They're going to
persuasion
take
is
more
not great
convincing.
anyway.
You can see there.
Yes. And I'm gonna tell them that, a druid is given powers as he gets stronger. And this man has gotten the power of turning into animals. And I understand you probably don't. You'd think somebody would know that when they've got werewolf heads on them, or wolf heads and etc., that you guys wouldn't like that, bear men and wolf men. But no, he doesn't like being
I'm gonna
told
keep.
what to do. So he came up in bear form. But he's a man first, not an animal.
We
Sometimes difficult to tell.
we do not. We do not. He is not welcome in this town. We do not let. We do not allow magic inside the town. Sorcery. It is the devil's work. It is the work of him, the Dark Lord.
Yeah,
Within our
we
walls,
don't.
no magic shall be cast.
Not even healing magic that
No
I get
magic.
from my god.
Not
Okay.
not even healing magic. It is the work
Cut
of the
out.
Dark Lord. He controls all the dark magic in this land. To bring magic in here is to be a servant of his. As is to, and he like pulls like a little notepad out of his pocket and like reads it. As is to
Mm-hmm.
let yourself be overcome by misery. 2, to let yourself turn on one another or question your brother and in particular your leadership.
Oh,
3, to not be happy. And he like tucks the book back in his pocket.
that's what magic will do to you? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's what the Dark Lord will do, and we will keep him from our doors.
Good.
So where are the spikes for those people?
I will not speak with you, demon. Stand back! And then like puts his spear down, and as these more men gather, there's like 12, 15 men at the top of the palisade, and another 5 or 6 poking their pikes through. Some of them sweating at the brow, some of them looking a bit sturdier.
I'm just gonna sit my ass down in front of the gate and wait.
You are welcome, holy woman.
Thank you.
For it is not
Can I come in?
It is not our way, but Father Lucian says we should take whatever divine gifts we are given. While perhaps
Irina and Ishmael.
that is not the Burgomaster's way. That is what the guidance we have been given.
Good.
And as for your other friends, the giant and the lizard man, well, and you can see them like he like turns and whispers, and they're conferring amongst each other.
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
As they're conferring, I'll be just if it helps. I'm a paladin, so I'm also holy. Just to let you guys know.
What's a paladin?
I'm a holy warrior, so I'm given gifts by my god, and I smite those that are evil.
Who's your greatest enemy, Holy Man?
My greatest enemy is those who are corrupt.
Define corrupt.
Define corrupt. Those who wield their power to make the weak miserable.
And the man and the woman like look at each other and then like, all right, you're in. What about you, giant?
What about me?
That's what I just asked. What is your quest?
Didn't really ask.
What do you seek? You
I
hate,
seek to get this boy home. I seek to get myself home.
and almost for the first time they take it with everything that's going on. They take in Pep. Yeah.
Good.
You bring. Is he Vistani? Only we don't allow Vistani in here. We've had a bad rap with him.
No, he's not Vistani. He's Pip.
And your goes to protect the child.
Absolutely, with my life.
I'm gonna confer again for a moment. All right, you're in. And the Burgomaster's kids. What did you say your father's name again was? And Irina stands forward. And his name was Kolyan. So that would make you. She says, that would make me Irina. And they like look at the guards like look at each other, and you see even up in the parapets the rest of the men like look at each other and like nod at each other, and a couple of them you can see like making crosses or doing like holy symbols on themselves. Well, we certainly know you're not our enemy then. The wild man would need to stay outside, not least of all because I can smell him from here.
He
I would
probably
advise you,
would.
wild man. The guard shift changes in a few hours. I would advise you to be gone by then, otherwise the hunters will be out. You do not want those two coming after you.
I'm just gonna smirk.
Step away from the gate.
Oh,
But why?
we
I'm
do.
so comfy here.
And they like look at each other and like do like a resigned sigh. We've had this before. Let us come in. We only want this. We only want that. And then we've got 20 wolves climbing over the walls. Your friend steps away. Your friend steps away, and we don't open the gate. The sun goes down. When the sun goes down, we lock the gate.
You misinterpret. You think I want to come in.
No,
I have no intention of coming in.
We know you want to come in, you demon spawn.
Now, why would I want to do that when I have everything I need here, and I'm going to create a nice little bonfire right in front of me?
And they immediately like fall back and like begin like pushing their spears through, and begin ringing the bell again. As
I'm
more.
just going to start to stretch out, lounge out in front of the fire.
Are you going to let me in? I said to the guard.
I'm afraid we'll need to. We'll need to take more advice in this, yo.
Okay, they're coming. I take it, right?
You brought a bear man here, a werewolf, a bear, a bear were. You've brought him here, and now he casts magic at our gates.
Yeah.
I look at the guard, and I kind of just rub my eyes a little bit. I'm just like, okay.
I think
This guy, as much as I hate to admit it, he's actually a really good person. He's just incredibly difficult, and you're antagonizing him. I can vouch for him. Vouch for irritates us, and as much as it smells. Please just let us all in. We're not going to cause any trouble. We just need to go talk. What's his nuts? I'm tired. Please. Forgotten. Please stop being difficult.
Here, here.
But I'm enjoying myself.
You can enjoy yourself at a...
I don't think a persuasion is going to get you past this. Otherwise, I'll let you roll.
No.
What if it's a natural 20? Oh.
wouldn't matter.
It's not. It was so close. I
Haha!
got a natural 18.
The sun drops away. The west gate will soon be dark.
Now, let's go set up camp outside here, because we're not going to get in.
I'm gonna
And
turn
I
to the
will.
guards. Anywhere you recommend we set up camp? Is there a good spot around here? You got like a park, trailer park kind of thing?
Trailer park.
And he leans in and says, I don't know what you're talking about, holy man, but I would
Just
suggest wherever you set
somewhere
up
safe
camp,
to camp.
you leave the wild man somewhere else. He's only gonna bring trouble.
Noted. But yeah,
You
where's
move
best?
him.
You know this area well.
And the female steps up and says, if you're going to set up camp somewhere, I would suggest you do it as far away from the gates as you can. Because
Well,
if your friend here, once the word spreads, as it will amongst the idle guards, the hunters will be out.
Yes.
It's only going to spread if you spread it, so if you keep your mouth shut, it'll be fine.
I cannot control what the other guards say. We are attacked almost constantly. A story of a man that turns not only into a wolf, but a bear, a large bear, will attract not only the suspicion, the fear, the anger of the guards, but the hunters will be out. If I were you, whatever you say, my giant friend, you will not get into the village with him. Not now that he has shown his true form. I would suggest you go far away from this place. Because the hunters, they do not discriminate. Not where gold is concerned. If they bring a head of a bear man, they will be legends.
all right. Well, listen. I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean any offense by it. But if our camp is attacked by your hunters, we're gonna be defending ourselves. Just fair warning.
Yeah.
And the man like blusters to say something and like puffs his chest out and like looks at his fellow guards, and the woman
We mean you no harm. We don't want to fight you.
the woman
But
steps in and
if we're
says,
attacked, we're
We-
gonna defend ourselves.
It
We
will
are-
become a you problem, not an us problem.
Correct.
we understand, but I'm sure as you understand,
Yeah, I understand.
Vallaki is one of the few safe villages. We have kept the darkness at bay, mostly at bay, for a long time. You are no threat
Well
to
done.
us, not while we are within our walls. The hunters, they are part of us, but we do not question their means.
Well,
Don't blame me if
just to let you
you're
know, if they attack us, they'll all be dead. That's probably gonna happen. So
And you
fair
see
warning.
the men in the walls like begin to like sort of scoff and like laugh and like nudge each other.
Shake my head. How many wives are going to be without a husband tomorrow morning?
Gallus is just gonna turn and like start looking for a place to.
Yeah, we gotta
camp.
move away from the gate.
It's
So-
getting dark, friends. Let's find somewhere before it's too dark for us to find a good spot.
I walk up to Forgotten and reach a hand down to help him up.
But I was having such fun. Oh well.
Get up.
Get up.
And then I smack him across the head.
Now, be nice.
Stop
I don't
being
want
difficult.
you getting
And
so upset now, would you?
So we have this
If we're
scene
not with
of
the
the
audience.
maybe 20 meters down the road, looking towards this gate and this palisade that disappears into the mist on either side, and these Reservoir Dog-esque party members with little Pip in tow, and you can see Irina and Ismark walking behind, looking at each other and shaking their heads for a moment as you pass away from the gates. They walk up to the gates, and Ismark puffs his chest out and goes to say something to the guard. My good man, you understand? And Irina like puts his hand on the shoulder and no, perhaps tomorrow, brother. But Irina, Ismark, our father told us to know our place. Let us know our place now. And it turns him, and they begin like following towards the party. And we can see as like more and more guards begin to like gather on the palisade. You see, with the bell being rung twice, you see men beginning to come out of their houses. Some of them in little more than their long johns and sort of tattered vests, wielding pitchforks and torches, as they begin to like gather and look around. And there's quite the hubbub going on within the wall as the party sort of approaches, moves towards the camera. And we fade the black on that, I think. Fuck's sake. Fuck's sake, Robert.
So difficult.
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
I'm sure he did.
Well,
Gonna.
it's all that prep I don't have to do next week.
Yeah, right. Won't get in that town. We'll see. Irina's got to get in that town. That's where she wants to go, right?
That's her.
I have no idea where Irina wants.
Well, it
Every
was
time
this
we
place.
suggest something, she's all like, "I'm my own woman. I'm gonna do my own thing." Meh.
We could always try blasting the gates off if we have to.
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
And that is where we're going to leave tonight's session.
Thank you.
That's our murder hobo arc starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how murdered hobos start. Oh, wait a minute. I'll give you some. No, don't worry. You can see this is quite a sizable town. Forgotten particularly, you can see that the palisade leads off far to the north. As you track along beside it, this is larger than Barovia. The village of Barovia.
Offended.
And you can see, yeah, it's definitely well defended. And on that bombshell, everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.